So let's take a look at the Fuso starting grid. We'll see how they line up officially. We've got Loundes and Luff on the pole position. Red Bull Racing Australia, Greg Murphy and James Courtney for the Holden Racing team share row number 1. On the second row of the grid, we've got Garth Tander and Nick Percat, former Bathurst winners, and a great performance, Tony D'Alberto with the Kiwi, Johnny Reid. Further back, positions number 5 and 6. Scott McLaughlin, Jack Perkins, spotted them downtown eating ice cream last night. Hope that puts them in good stead for the gig. David Reynolds and Dean Canto will start out of position 6 for Botlow. Rick Kelly and Carl Reindler, they're driving car number 15. And that's the Jack Daniels Nissan. And we've got Shane van Gisbergen, and he'll be driving with your own Bleekemolen. And Michael Caruso, Daniel Gaunt. We've got Fabian Coulthard and Luke Youlden. Remember that they copped a penalty in qualifying. Unfortunately, Fabian didn't go to the scales for the mandatory weigh.
James Moffat and Taz Douglas for the Norton Hornets with Tim Blanchard and Ash Walsh. The Advam racer. There's Lee Holdsworth and Craig Baird. Had a pretty good run at Sandown, of course. What about Mark Winterbottom and Stephen Richards? Bathurst champions now. And Frosty's in this championship picture, but he'll have to start from 14th. Russell Ingall with Ryan Briscoe. Alex Davison with Johnny McIntyre, the Gelbwen FPR Ford from position number 16. So Tim Slade once again has David Brabham as his Gold Coast co-driver, replacing Andrew Thompson, who was there at Bathurst and at Sandown. David Wall has shown a lot of pace in car 21, so we can expect a little bit more from him and Chris Pither, Dean Fiore and Matt Halliday for the Dodo Insurance. Will Davison got spun around in qualifying. He's got Steve Owen with him. Jonathan Webb has the German ace Mark Lieb for Team Techno. Darryl Lee, that's position 22. And this is where it gets really interesting as we move through Mostert and Wood and Scotty Pye and Paul Morris. We then find our championship leader, Jamie Whincup and Paul Dumbrell, starting this race, one of the most brutal you can do all year, at the back end of the season from 25th. Todd Kelly and David Russell alongside them. And for SP Tools Racing, Maro Engel with Stevie Johnson. So we've got 27 cars because car 8 is still being pieced together after Andrew Jones found the wall in practice. So we won't see Jason Bright and Andrew Jones out there. We understand that 4 main game drivers will be starting. They will be Tony D'Alberto, Scott McLaughlin, Russell Ingall and Todd Kelly.
We said in qualifying, Matt, about this performance from Whincup and the drama that unfolded for him to be at the back of the grid. This today has huge championship implications.
Another metre, half metre.
A lot of pressure on these co-drivers. Warren Love.
Over there, mate.
11 drivers that'll line up in today's race have been former race winners, and the top of that list is Garth Tander with 7. Whincup's had 6, going to be tough for him today. Murphy, he's had 4. Look at Carl Reindler already with an elevated heart rate. That's going to peak up towards 200 when he gets stuck into the action, and it will stay there for the majority of his stint. He's got to do at least 34 laps in this race to tick off the mandatory requirement for the co-driver.
Staggered grid.
I saw Luff there before. Matty's got the car turned slightly. When we get the next shot, here we go.
Luff in car 888, Greg Murphy in 22. Nick Percat in car 2. The rumble starts. They've been waiting and waiting a long time. It feels like forever. And now they are finally good to go. A little bit of contact involving Fabian Coulthard mid-pack. This is critical. And Luff is going to have to muscle his way through. Greg Murphy and Garth Tander now side by side. It wasn't easy, but he got it done, Warren Luff. Look at Tony D'Alberto up alongside car 22 now. So Percat goes up to 2nd. D'Alberto goes to 3rd. Murphy's dropped back. Well, no, he hasn't. He's held that position.
That was a big dive.
So alongside, it's actually Garth Tander. It is Garth Tander, so they've got Tander in the chair now. And he has snuck through on Warren Luff. So they originally told us Nick Percat was starting, but the light is not activated. The co-driver's light isn't activated. Regardless, car 2 is going to lead the way.
Perfect work. Let's run our own race now. Good stuff.
It's a very aggressive run in the first several corners by Tander. You looked for a moment there as though the Holden Racing Team cars were going to get together, but they managed to pop out the other side. The body language from car 2, Garth Tander, is very committed in these early laps to build a margin. Oh, Moffat. Taz Douglas at the wheel of that 360 car. That was close. So remember, look for the green light for the official confirmation of the co-driver. And there is the co-driver for car 2, Nick Percat. Double duty this weekend, Carrera Cup and V8 Supercar. First V8 experience for him on the Gold Coast. A lot of pressure on his shoulders.
I think this is smart. Alternate strategy is smart. You know you've got to do 34 laps. You put Nick Percat in for the next 34 when they've had their first stop. It'll be after lap 20 that window starts, and it does confine him. There you go, there's the heart rate back up to 170. You said that, Combo. But it will definitely make a difference when you have your A-game driver against the co-drivers in this phase of the race. You saw the aggression Tander put on Luff. Murphy was also very aggressive at the first chicane. I thought, as you said, that the two HRT cars were going to end up in the fence.
Paul Dumbrell has already made up 5 spots in car number 1. So he's up to 20th.
It was a good job by Murphy to hang on in that battle with D'Alberto as they got into the fast chicane. Here's Douglas up the inside, Nissan on Nissan. Contact, that is bad. That is awkward. Won't go down well in the garage. So Reindler and Douglas locking horns down there at the hairpin, and one of them is damaged, if not both.
Carl's heart rate climbing even more, edging towards 180 now. They were lucky there, they both got out of it.
Yeah.
Because look who is coming, all these guys. Push and shove for car 34, Greg Ritter. He's got Stephen Richards in front of him. There's Dean Canto. Bottle entry, so Garth Tander 112.6. He's got a 1.6 second lead. We go on board with the Enforcer in position 8. So he started 15th.
He's working hard at the moment on the back of Blickermole. In fact, he just gave him a little touch up through the chicane. He'll try and get down the inside here, but that race line's narrowed up down there. Light rail system being built on the Gold Coast at the moment. Just changed the entry profile to that corner slightly. That's a good charge from Russell Ingall. Meantime, Tander's making hay. 1.7 second margin, and all his sector splits are impressive. He's quicker than everybody at the moment.
And Bleekemolen will want to be careful with the blocking, because he was blocking pretty heavily down there at turn 4 the last couple of laps. And it won't just be the stewards that he'll have to be worried about, because Russell's a fair chance to turn him around.
He's already lit up the radio and in not so diplomatic terms suggested the same thing.
Yeah, there you go.
So a little rat-a-tat-tat and down the inside for Russell Ingall. That moves him now to position 7.
Rick Kelly, just watched you cringe there a moment ago when your two cars came together, Taz Douglas and Carl Reindler. From a team boss's point of view, that's as bad as it gets.
Yeah, look, a little bit early for that sort of stuff, but both cars got away with it, so good fair racing. Hopefully we can have a few better battles later on.
Looking forward to getting out there?
Yeah, look, I get to rest a little bit and see how it settles down and then jump in, so for me it's ideal.
Oh, you sound a little bit throaty, Rick, you all right?
Yeah, look, I lost my voice a couple of days before, so for EP, the engineer, it's been great because I can't yell on the radio, so it's all perfect.
But I'll let you rest. Thanks, Rick.
Thank you.
It was funny, I was talking to him about it yesterday. He said, it's great, everyone thinks it's fantastic, I've lost my voice. It's just, he's got a good sense of humour, he's a funny young guy.
Whoa, massive moment there for Canto. Big tank slapper in car 55 through the fast chicane. He got it all out of rhythm. That was awkward. I think both those Nissans actually survived that contact. It looked for a moment as though it might have sent one or both to the pit lane. There was some telltale smoke. That was pretty heavy contact down there, so for the time being, they got away with it.
Okay. They held him for a long time, didn't they? So Warren Luff got a good start. Now, Murph tucks in behind him. And Tander is ready, willing and able to start the push and shove straight away. He was being hounded by Tony D'Alberto. The front on view.
So that was Murphy. They make contact, and then I thought this part was the piece that the two of them were going to end up in the Gold Coast sign.
What tends to happen at the start, and Damien White's the regular starter for the category. Here's that Nissan moment we spoke about. Daz Douglas on Carl Reindler. I don't like seeing. I can imagine the thoughts and feelings in the Nissan garage. Dean Canto, here's his moment. All crossed up, elbows flying. Caught it, just.
Elbows flying.
I've got it, I've got it, I've got it. Yeah, so what tends to happen is pretty much a standard procedure for the start. The variance in the start is usually quite small. But when the non-regular drivers are in the car, they tend to be pretty keyed up at the start, so they bring the revs up very early, which gives us the signal that, wow, they've been sitting there for a long time. So you wouldn't have wanted to be a valve spring down there before, because you did a fair day's work even before the race started.
So Garth Tander, he's won 7 races on this circuit, more than anyone else. He leads by 3.5 seconds. Has just kicked away from Warren Luff and Greg Murphy. Tony D'Alberto holding down a top 5 spot with Scott McLaughlin. 102 laps they have to do around this concrete jungle.
So it's all Commodores at the front in this 30th race of the championship. You can see there that there's plenty going on back in the pack. That was Dumbrell fighting with John McIntyre, picking up a spot for 19th. We're on board with the next car in the queue that he's trying to get to, Matthew Halliday, the American-based Kiwi in the Dodo Insurance Commodore with Dean Fiore. This car a retirement quite late, a fortnight ago at Bathurst with a gearbox drama. One of the 2 cars for the Lucas Dumbrell Motorsport team. So Paul is coming up on the back of a car owned and run by his little brother. Both cars from the 888 stable. That time through Tander, 112 dead. He's sprinting clear. He's put another 9/10 on Warren Luff. Here's the fight for second spot. Luff on board Craig Lowndes' car. Greg Murphy on board James Courtney's car and looking pretty aggressive. Trying to get down the inside of the hairpin. He'll get this done. Great run off the chicane and then dive. So HRT, the factory team, run 1-2. And D'Alberto, remember that car's a Walkinshaw built car. It's run by D'Alberto's team, but it is very much a customer satellite operation. McLaughlin's behind. Then Caruso, best of the Nissans. Long way back to find a Falcon. You've got to go right back to 11, and it's the most unlikely Ford of them all. Ash Walsh in the Dick Johnson Racing 17 car. He and Tim Blanchard started from 12th, so they've made up a spot, and now Luff struggling to hang on from D'Alberto. Remember that Warren Luff has driven here before with James Courtney in the Jim Beam Racing days. It's the first time that he's paired up with Craig Lowndes at the Gold Coast 600, because for the last few years it's had international co-drivers. So 8 laps in, 102 lapper, 300 kilometres. And the championship combatants are buried in the pack. Jamie Wincup's car with Dumbrell at the wheel is 19th. The Mark Winterbottom car that won Bathurst with Steve Richards at the helm is 14th. And Will Davison's car with Steve Owen driving is 21st. So this is a big chance for Craig Lowndes to rip a massive margin of points from his title rivals. His car runs 3rd. We're on lap 9.
This charge around the street circuit continues with Garth Tander pushing further away, 5.2 seconds back to Greg Murphy. Then Warren Luff is now holding up Tony D'Alberto, Scotty McLaughlin and Michael Caruso.
3 series regulars beating up on someone that's not as regularly in the seat. Nice move here, Greg Murphy. The replay down at the hairpin at turn 4, cleanly done. He set that up in the previous chicane and did a very good job here. So here it is again. Gets it up the inside and pretty much a textbook pass. Right foot braking for Greg Murphy, so he's ambidextrous. He uses both feet on occasion when it comes to driving these cars. An interesting manoeuvre there. Peter Jamieson on the right at Red Bull Racing Australia with Craig Lowndes. Other irony in that little battle group that we're looking at there before, Matt, is that Michael Caruso, who's 6th in the Nissan Hornet entry, is chasing down Scotty McLaughlin. Remember that Michael spent 5 years with Gary Rogers Motorsport and the boys at Fujitsu, so kind of reignites an old battle there, and he knows those guys well. So we'll keep an eye on that. It's good to see the Nissan Altima in the 10.
In fact, the Nissan Altima is right behind. We're on board now with Scott McLaughlin.
Delberto was crossed up big time there as well.
It's great vision. You can just see the level of commitment, how close they are to the fence on the left, fence on the right. You have to be, in terms of visibility, very careful not to make a little mistake when you're tucked right up in behind another car like Scott was there. You see Caruso also putting a little bit of pressure on McLaughlin. In fact, we saw that contact with Caruso and Reindler earlier. It's been a good drive by Caruso to get to where he is.
Guys, just in the FPR garage with Mark Winterbottom and Will Davison. Very relaxed here, fellas, at the moment. You're a bit like those two old guys from the Muppets, just sitting back and critiquing Scotty McLaughlin as he makes his way around. Frosty, what do you think of Scotty from on board?
Yeah, it looked pretty good. Will said he may be struggling to downshift, so we just had a close eye on him, but he's quick. I'll tell you, it's hard watching, though, from in here because you feel like an expert here, but when you get out on a track, it gets a hell of a lot harder. So, yeah, I'm happy sitting here for the moment.
Hey, Will, for both of you, I mean, your cars are, 14th and 21st, respectively, but we know at this place that can all change very quickly, Will.
Yeah, we're not going to lie, 14th and 21st isn't what the plan was this morning, but this race is far from over. I mean, anything can happen. We've got 92 laps to go. It's heating up. We will see if there's some safety cars. We'll see some unique strategies. So very early stages. So we're just obviously watching anxiously now, and once we get in, we'll just drag it and see where we end up. But yeah, anything can happen.
Way to go. Now, Will, there's been a lot of talk about your plans for next year this week, and just between us, can you let us in on anything for next year, secretly?
Brett, come on. No.
It's a no.
Focused on driving the Pepsi Max car, FPR, to the end of this year. It's been a great relationship. Cheers.
Very professional, mate. Well done.
Can I tell you?
Yeah, you tell us, Frosty, yeah.
Can I tell you?
So this is, of course, the championship leading car of Jamie Whincup and Paul Dumbrell. Paul behind the wheel. They started 25th, now up to 18th.
Never had a podium at the Gold Coast, Paul Dumbrell, but one thing that he has done, been an extraordinary achievement. Both he and Warren Luff have been on the podium the Enduro races last year and this year, all of them so far. Been a tremendous campaign. Can't emphasise how difficult it is to be not driving regularly and to get in and drive at the level that, trouble there.
That was always going to happen.
Hold your breath when all that stuff's going on. It was McIntyre in car number 18.
Stopped. On board now with Scott McLaughlin. I just saw Caruso go by.
Oh, yeah, clutch it actually. Turn the master switch off. Turn it back on. And then restart. But nothing coming through the pedal.
That won't start.
The pedal's just nice. Turn the master switch off.
Master switch back on now.
Do you have a throttle? Does it feel like there's any resistance on the throttle pedal?
Here we go.
Going again.
All right, so he's back.
Now, Delberto just put that move. Oh, it's a yellow flag there, so he'll have to redress that. So we've got a safety car, and Delberto actually got a move going there with Luff and then had to basically back it off and put it back into position.
So the safety car is out.
Tander lead from 7 seconds now back to nothing. Russell Engel has done a great job. In fact, he set the fastest lap of the race on the previous lap. 11.6, that's 2/10 faster than Tander.
This is Greg Ritter, car 34.
Start her up. Let's go.
Remember, it was a shocking weekend last year for Jiu-Jitsu boys, Gary Rogers Motorsport. They had carnage all weekend. So in comes 33 now. What on earth has gone on there? Maybe he bumped the kill switch. This is Jack Perkins.
It sounded like it was an ECU or like engine control unit issue because he had to turn it off and reset it to get it going again. So what he was saying, there was no feeling in the throttle.
That was a bad call. That was a... I mean, he was called on the departure then. He said go, and he went straight to the path of car 22.
Which is stacked. So car 22 of Murphy and Courtney has had to double stack.
Which is the lesser, as I've said many times, of the two evils.
We need to race to the first corner, mate, so hold your line through the first corner, and we'll form up after that.
It interests me that you would double stack in this for this strategy. There's so many diverse strategies in this race today. Don't know whether you need to do that or not.
Nothing in the front, boys. Just push that bonnet down a bit. Thanks, mate. Perfect, go, man. Yeah, it's a bit hard to see what's going on with cars coming out. I might have stalked you out. We've got a bit of a lead in, so we'll take advantage of it here. So I've got car 3 garages away, now behind us now. Okay, so you're going to go behind the Merc, behind the Merc, behind the Merc, behind the Merc. Thank you, thank you.
Well done.
Yeah, good call. It's the kind of information you need when you're in the driver's seat. You cannot see clearly behind the car.
I'll tell you who else has jumped lost a bunch of spots there is Russell Ingall. He had to double stack with Tony D'Alberto. They share that pit bay, so he was trucking along very well.
Scotty McLaughlin, throttle problem?
Yeah, I don't know. We had this similar problem in practice. What happened there, but yeah, it's what happens, eh? But so keep pushing on. Long way to go, man. So yeah, I enjoy coming back from the back. So we have a bit of fun.
Scotty, just explain to us what it was. What were you feeling? What was happening?
The throttle resistance was still there. Like the cables still attached to the butterflies and stuff, but it's just like wasn't igniting the motor for some reason. So I don't know. It feels like electrical, but I just turned everything off, got it going again, and away it went. But yeah, hopefully it stays all right for the race. It got going and felt normal again. So yeah.
Thanks, Scotty.
Yeah, cheers. Thank you.
First time for him in anything here this weekend. One of 4 guys that are absolute rookies on the Gold Coast. Scott McLaughlin, he's been one of the success stories of 2013. Replay of what happened down here. Johnny McIntyre was the one that got turned around by car number 19, Mark Lee, the Porsche specialist. Here it is from above.
Watch David Brabham.
Probably cop a penalty as a result of that.
Whoa.
That was close.
David Brabham raced in Atlanta last weekend at the Petit Le Mans. More of this replay here, and we watched the move down the inside for car number 3. Remembering there's yellow flags out, so you can't do that. So Tony D'Alberto saw a gap, and then luckily he got onto it when he spotted the yellow flags and got into position. Larko?
Garth, nice first stint, short one. Very aggressive first lap with your teammate, buddy.
Oh, I don't know, Murph was sniffing down the inside at the first chicane. I thought, okay, buddy, I'll have a run at you afterwards. And then we went up there and, no, he was pretty good about it. And then Luffy was pretty slow through the beach chicane. I knew I had to get track position because I thought the car would be good early. So we obviously did that and got a good jump. So it actually probably worked. That's what our strategy needed, was that safety car. Whether it works at the end of the race, we'll find out.
No, but I thought it was a good one. We're actually just about to talk to Nick, so I thought this is a good, smart strategy. I mean, he's a good young kid. He'll do a good job at now, and in come the safety car right on cue.
Bang on time. Maybe it might work.
Good luck, eh?
Right, we'll see.
So Nick Percat now gets behind the wheel of car number 2. GT grabs an icy pole.
And why I said that it confuses me why you double stack is that a lot of the other cars haven't stopped at all in that time. Yeah. So we're on board now with Warren Luff. They chose not to stop. You can see the damage there on the front of car 12.
Dale Woods behind the wheel.
Car in pit lane.
So for the other guys that have double stacked it, it interests me at this point. Remember, you've got the whole of the rest of the race to make it up. So what you would think around here is there will be other safety cars. Under that scenario, you minimise the loss under that case. Down the inside for Caruso.
So that's the position 2. Luff the leader, Caruso second, Reindler in third. Fourth now.
That car right there that we were looking at with the damage to the front of car 12 is a lap down. So too is Jack Perkins. So the first 14 cars did not stop. You mentioned that, you know, we likely will have another safety car. Well, the average is about 3 or 4 per race. Whoa!
Ooh, that was close.
That's pretty cool, actually.
There's been an enormous number of safety car interventions here over the years. The average is 3.8. You can pretty much bet the house on it. There's car 7. Jack Daniels Racing. Todd Kelly's driving that car at the moment. A lot of damage on the bonnet. Engine change late yesterday afternoon. Lost one of the new development engines. They only had 4 of those, so dropped one. They've had to put one of the older spec engines back in that car. Todd's midfield at the moment. It's 265 kilometres an hour, 6th gear in the run into that very quick chicane at turn 1.
Stephen Richards just slides past Craig Baird.
When the field gets scrambled like this, Matt, we make this reference often. It's just where you've really got to be patient, really have your eyes up, whether you're being attacked or you're the attacker. The field isn't in its necessarily natural order. And because of the speed disparity, be very careful you don't end up clobbering people and it just ruins your day. It's very, very early in the race, so patience is a big deal here at the moment.
Well, this is going to end in trouble. Stephen Johnson in the seat of car 9.
A very aggressive pass. Very aggressive pass. Down the inside of Murphy. Murphy gave him a little bit of room. Caruso now has dragged this back to half a second behind Luff.
The subject of Johnson since the first weekend I can recall here, where Dick Johnson, Steve's father, isn't at the race meeting. He's gone fishing. Every year he and his mates have a big fishing expedition, and it fell this time, this weekend, this year. It's bizarre, so he's not around. So the order at the moment is Warren Luff. He's got a bit of pressure on him. Caruso, Reindler, Douglas, Ash Walsh. It's unbelievable shots of this great venue.
That order is all mixed up. The top 14 cars on the road are yet to pit. So that strategy game just continues to unfold here on a crystal clear Saturday at the Armour All Gold Coast 600.
So let's bring up to speed on who have been the losers so far. There's guys back in the pack who've had various dramas. Now, Greg Murphy's just dropped way down our timing screen. That's why, because he's crashed. Murphy in the fence, that car badly damaged. It's out, it's done. So 2 rounds in a row. Car 22 is done. He got hit from behind in the chicane. James Courtney's day's done.
Back to the garage, mate, trying to inspect the damage. There is steering damage, there's steering damage.
And that's massive damage to 22. They've put in massive work just to get that car here this weekend after Murphy crashed out at Bathurst. He's not going to give up. Now, the number 1 car's in. I just saw it out of the corner of the commentary box, and that is on its way in. So this is championship stuff. Remember, Whincup holds a 114-point lead coming into this race over Craig Lowndes. Lowndes' car leads with Warren Luff at the helm. Contact between Dumbrell and Murphy.
How secure is that there? Frank, you just have a look here.
They're going to need to do more on that.
We're going to do this tape and that going on here as well.
Courtney can't believe it. But this car looks salvageable. It looks like they can get it back in the race. It's not too bad. 22
before the train comes around, please. We need to relieve the
is
car.
not pretty. No safety car out. We're still green.
Drop the car, please.
They're off the lead lap. The leaders have gone by. Warren Luff and Michael Caruso. Murphy is not giving up. He's trying to limp this thing back to the lane and not be stuck out on the track. But that car is a banana. I don't know how he's even driving it. So Luff leads. Caruso's next. Reindler's next. Nissan's 2, 3, 4.
Slow, and he's just absolutely drilled me up the arse and sent me into the pit.
So it sounds like Murphy was behind. It's actually Johnny Reid in the number 3 car. And the Kiwi's getting a welcome reception as he tries to limp it back around.
Try and take the shortest way back possible as possible, won't you? No, you're nearly back.
So we're left with 23 cars in the lead lap. Warren Luff leads the way. Best of the cars that have pitted is Nick Percat in Garth Tander's car. He sits 15th. He's 12 seconds off the lead. But HRT's assault on the Gold Coast has been chopped in half. It's lap 20.
Back live on the Gold Coast at the Armour All 600, and high drama here. Car 22, Greg Murphy, for the 2nd event in a row, has huge damage to the Holden Racing Team Commodore. It is busted beyond belief, and he is shattered again. The other part of this story is car number 1, our championship leading car with Paul Dumbrell behind the wheel involved. He's got massive damage too to the front.
Do your best to stop on us. Just take it easy. Come in slowly.
That's a heartbreaking image.
Gee, that's huge damage.
Second time in 14 days. Does the replay unravel this mystery?
Well, Murphy reported back that he was just drilled from behind and sent into the fence. So that's car 3 in front, the high flex car. But watch this. Unloaded at high speed. Look at the damage already to car number 1. The Red Bull Racer is all bashed in, and then the impact of Murph's is enough to throw that car, almost 1.5 tons of V8 supercar, back out onto the circuit after it hit the wall.
Oh, serious shunt. Lucky Greg let go of the steering wheel there. He would have broken his wrist. Now they brought car 1 in to inspect the damage, and then to try and avoid going a lap down, they dispatched it. That's the disconsolate James Courtney walking out the back of the garage to just take a breath and think about it. What a fortnight for him.
That is heavy.
Greg's had to check up for some reason behind car 3 ever so slightly, and he's taken a mega impact from behind by this car here. Paul Dumbrell at the wheel, car 1.
Johnny Reed's behind the wheel of car 3.
It's about 150 kilometres an hour at that spot.
Meanwhile, Michael Caruso at the front in the Norton Hornet has taken position number 1 off Warren Luff.
Spud, I know you're annoyed, mate, and you probably you should be. I just saw the vision. You got drilled pretty hard from the rear there, mate.
Well, we've seen it. I mean, Delberto obviously had to back out of it because someone went past him. So he was slow through there, but I don't know what Paul was looking at or what he thought was going to happen, but we were all slowing up, and he's just absolutely drilled the back of it. So, yeah, pretty pissed, I can tell you. This is not good.
Tough luck, buddy. I'll just grab a quick word if we could with James. Obviously disappointing, mate. You don't have to say much. We can see it in your face, but I think it's probably a little unlucky in this instance.
Yeah, it looks like on the replay from Earth, he did got drilled by Dumbrell, so pretty silly thing to do. I think that sort of area and that sort of speed we're doing, you got to give someone a bit of leniency. So I think it's what a stupid thing to do, and he's probably going to be regretting it. Stopped again on the track now, so. I think he's ruined Jamie's championship hopes as well, so he's going to be in trouble tonight, I think, off Roland.
All right, thanks, mate. Bad luck. Brett?
Yeah, like I would just try and get to Roland Dane. At the moment, there's a bit of a scramble in the Red Bull garage because they're bringing one of the cars in. No, Roland's flat out at the moment, guys. They've got so much going on in here.
And that's because Barrett's car number 1 has stopped. So Paul Dumbrell
puncture.
Has
Car's got a puncture.
888 car, 888 of our left rear. There it is. Look at the left rear.
Second time in 2 days because Loundes went through the chicane yesterday and punctured 2 because of traffic. Deep Fiore to contend with.
Safety car, stand by. We've got a car stopped in the pit exit road right down at turn 1, so just stand by.
Ooh. Chris Pither. It's all going on. At the front of the field, Caruso, Reindler, Douglas, a Nissan 1, 2, 3.
So the reason Roland was agitated in the background there, he had one car stationary on the track, one car reporting a puncture. So it was all going on. Now they've got car number 888 back to try and resolve its issues.
I need that 46 foot in as well. Everything else feel all right, last man? Steering straight and that? Cool, mate. Got Delberto, 2 garages away. After him, we're all fine, all fine. Okay, FPR leaving now, 3 garages away. All fine now. I've got 4 leaving now, 2 garages away. You're going to fire him behind him, mate. All clear behind that, all clear behind.
Goal ties, mate, goal ties. Bring the rebar up, push on. It's the same car currently out there. Keep on going, train.
If it wasn't the Gold Coast, you just wouldn't believe what's going on here. For the second time in 2 weeks, James Courtney and Greg Murphy's car is just smashed to smithereens. We've got our championship leader. His car's parked. Paul Dumbrell's out of it. Leading the race, Warren Luff, a Craig Lowndes entry, loses left rear.
Mark Winterbottom, nothing typifies motorsport more than what's going on right now, the topsy-turvy nature of it. You've got a cheesy smile on your face because you're picking up points as they're falling around you.
Yeah, well, it's not how you want to do it. You want to obviously beat them on track. So, but, you know, the championship's never over. There's all these comments and everything that get thrown, but it's always that last lap in December. So, long way to go here. We've got to obviously still try and do a good job, but yeah, who would have thought this is all happening? It's all unfolding.
Well, mate, it's 24 laps into the race, so we're, what, quarter of a way, if not even. You're dead right, anything's possible.
Yeah, well, we haven't even thought about getting in the car yet, so we're just sitting here watching it like everyone at home, and it's all going crazy out there, so I can't wait to get in, and you know, we've got to finish this race now and try and get some good points, but I think it's Lowndes is the one that's absolutely laughing. He had a flat tyre there and still made it round, so he's going to look like he'll jump Wing Cup, and let's jump to both of them. That'd be good.
I'm like him, but I wouldn't count anything out. All right, thanks, MB. What do you got that's crazy up your way?
The craziness continues, Larko, at the moment. It's so intense here at Red Bull at the moment. Jamie Whincup is directly behind us through there. He is in the ice bath at the moment, trying to prepare himself to get out. Now, he knows now that he won't need to rush too much to get out of that ice bath and get out here, but his engineer, Mark Dutton, has just been in and briefed him and told him what's going on, so we'll see him out here shortly. Meantime, the analysis on Lowndes' tyre is continuing. It is just shredded.
What a mess. Left, right and centre. Exactly what the Gold Coast Street Circuit does, and here's more drama. A headbutt for car 7. Now I have seen it all.
So let's get a grip. Let's just get a grip for a second. The top 4 cars on the road have not been at pit lane. They've stayed out there. Jeroen Bleekemolen, the Dutchman, leads the race in Shane van Gisbergen's car. Craig Baird is second in the Ewan Mercedes. Dean Canto is third, and Paul Morris is fourth. Nick Percat is fifth. He's made 1 stop. Stephen Johnson's next in the SP Tools Mercedes-Benz that he shares with Maro Engel. And there's just some of the leftovers from where Greg Murphy went hard into the fence. Johnny Reid was on board the D'Alberto car and had ridden the curve badly, and Murphy then backed up and then just got tapped from behind from Paul Dumbrell. Now that number 1 car has stopped. It's out. Dumbrell has stepped out of it. The question is it a failure related to that contact with Murphy, or is it something separate? We'll find out. So we've got a whole range of different strategies unfolding. Perkett, as I mentioned, is 5th. Then Stephen Johnson. Then David Brabham in the HHA Mercedes with the left rear bodywork there flailing. Ryan Briscoe's next. He's on board Russell Ingall's super cheap car, and they had dropped to the tail of the field because Ingall had been forced to stack at that last pit stop behind the D'Alberto car. So they've come back up the order. John McIntyre 9th. There he is. Gerald went forward. Mark Lieb next. They had contact earlier on. There's Daniel Gaunt. He's now on board the Michael Caruso 36 Norton Hornet. He's 11th. The championship could be swung on its head today. Remember that Whincup was 114 clear of Craig Lowndes coming into this race, with Mark Winterbottom and Will Davison 3rd and 4th. Remember, it's 150 points for a win in each race this weekend. We've still got 24 cars on the lead lap, 25 in the race. Jack Perkins is off the lead lap in the Fujitsu Commodore after Scott McLaughlin's problems earlier on. So I think you'll see that he's actually the 5th car in the queue. There he is in that slightly modified livery Fujitsu Commodore, which they liked so much at Bathurst that they kept it for this weekend and hoped that it could bring them some more good luck. But he's down a lap. He needs to get that back and get hustling. We're on lap 26 of what is already a very interesting race 30 of the championship, and we're not even halfway.
Well, it's quite impossible to think that we've got another 76 laps to go and that we'll make it that far. The amount of chaos that has been unfolding here on our mega wall, left, right and centre. Chaz Mostert continues to wait. So Jeroen Bleekemolen in car 97, VIP Pet Foods car of Shane van Gisbergen, is our on-the-road leader from Craig Baird, Dean Canto, Paul Morris, Nick Percat, who's at the top of the list of those who have stopped. And Stevie Johnson, David Brabham, Ryan Briscoe, Johnny McIntyre and Mark Lee. That's your top 10. Car 888 is back out there in 20th. Larko.
Yeah, Matt, just while we've got the opportunity, it's a good chance to have a look at the Murphy crashed car, and you can get an extent of an idea of the extent of the damage. But what's really important, if we come down low here, Pete, well, there's a few people in the way, but if you look along the two wheels there, you can just see the front wheel up underneath there and the rear one. They're actually still pretty well in line, so that's a good indicator that maybe structurally we're not too bad. But car of the future, one of the big changes with this new generation of car was moving the fuel cell from where it would have been in there to down inside the car, under the floor. So that's a great innovation, because straight away I thought, oh, fuel, and then I thought, hang on, no, it's not. So that's really, really nice. Along the side here, you know, we've got... sorry, mate?
You're not showing them our setup, are you?
No, I'm not showing the setup. A lot of this, as bad as it looks, will be cosmetic damage, so I'd say that's very repairable, as bad as it looks.
And it looks awful.
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone take a big deep breath.
Yes, exactly.
Regroup.
Green flags, thank you, safety car.
Race director Tim Schenken gets it back underway. So the Dutchman, Ron Bleekemolen, heads him out. What happens next? Look at car 47. David Brabham, panel damage on the rear left-hand side of that. Craig Baird has a little look on the inside. He's got Dean Canto hovering on him as well.
So it's Percat with the lights on. Pretty good battle there. Percat and Johnson, they're actually the first guys that are in the field that have made the stops. They're all bumping. Seriously, the amount of contact is just extraordinary.
I'm sitting here a bit bewildered by all this. Early days. In general terms, it's the higher risk drivers of the two drivers, because they're the ones that do the least miles. In a high risk portion of the race, the start, the early phase of it, all playing a game as though it was the last lap of the World Championship, and it's equaling chaos. I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense. It's costing a lot of people a lot of money, and it's just leaving wreckage from one end of the place to the other. It's dumb. So 4 people yet to stop. Still on down here at the moment. Craig Baird having a look at Bleekemolen. And the start range, excluding the fact that we've had some safety car intervention on a couple of occasions, is about 40 laps, depending on your car, and there's little variance across driver to driver, team to team. But that window extends, that range extends when the safety car comes out, because you burn roughly, well, 1.5 litres less per lap. If you're managing it really carefully, you can actually get around here for about 1 litre per lap if you manage the safety car fuel burn carefully.
Guys, that was probably as intense few minutes as Red Bull Racing Australia would like to see here at the Gold Coast. Roland, first update on Paul Dumbrell's car. Do we know what the problem was?
No, we don't. Not quite sure. Something's broken, stopped it out there, so we've gone to try and find it and see what it is.
Tough day, but there was a lot going on there for you guys. Both cars in trouble at the same time.
Yeah, the 888 car had a puncture, and left rear puncture. We don't know why. So it could have been debris on the circuit, most likely. So, yeah, we've got to try and make the most of it now.
Roland, your thoughts on Paul Dumbrell's contact with Greg Murphy?
I haven't a clue how it started. It's very unusual to see that sort of thing. Something probably happened, a concertina or something, to trigger that.
Thanks, Roland.
Roland's point about debris is a good one. You can even see some on the right-hand side of the road in the braking area to turn 4. You end up with a heap of things that we can see on television, but there's a pile of stuff that you don't see. Little washers and bolts and bits and pieces, fasteners that come off the cars when all this stuff's unfolding, and catch it in the wrong spot and it'll put a slice in one of those tyres, because the actual tread face of the tyre is much thinner than your road car tread face on a typical road car tyre.
Car 21 boys of David Wall and Chris Pither will have to serve a 10-second stop pit lane penalty for speeding in pit lane. We saw that car come in or locked up, which would have triggered the radar gun.
Ryan Briscoe, car number 66, Super Cheap Auto Racing, sharing with Russell Ingall. And Ryan has just, he's apart from doing an unbelievable job in the car, not only this weekend, but in the recent weekends at Sandown and Bathurst, he's been doing an unbelievable job crossing the Pacific. He's been bouncing backwards and forwards. He's done so much racing in the recent past. This is the 6th race meeting for Ryan in 7 weekends. Last weekend it was the Petit Le Mans 12-hour race in Atlanta, Georgia, or just outside it. We had a great battle, ended up finishing second, first in class, second outright. Had a terrific battle with the group of guys that included David Brabham, who's in the field out there as well at the moment. And he was also the last man to win an IndyCar race here for Roger Penske back in 2008.
So Bleekemolen versus Baird at the front.
There's Ryan. Thought about it up the inside, but didn't get it done then. So he's actually chasing down David at the moment. These two guys nose to tail, and they were in a huge battle last weekend on the other side of the ocean, driving sports cars.
And further to the two guys at the front that I just mentioned, Jeroen and Craig, the Dutchman and the Kiwi, they were in a huge battle 12 months ago in the Carrera Cup at Mount Panorama, and now they're 1 and 2 on the road here. Jeroen drove with Shane van Gisbergen here last year into the top 10.
Blue flag, buddy, blue flag, mate. Don't hold them up, don't hold them up.
The big mover, boys, is car 9. So Dean Canto's third. Stephen Johnson in the SP Tools Mercedes-Benz is in 4th. Now he stopped on lap 13. So too did car 2 of Mick Percat, but Johnson is ahead of Percat.
So we're riding with Jack Perkins here at the moment, but keep in mind they're slightly out of sequence because of what happened to Scott McLaughlin earlier. So Jack's down in 25th at the moment. You may have caught that radio message from Richard Holway before. Just keep an eye out and don't hold them up. You'll end up getting a bad sportsmanship flag from race control. So there is car number 9. Stephen Johnson at the helm of that car at the moment. Position 3. Started way back. He's fighting for notice and a drive in 2014 at the moment, Steve Johnson.
From 27th all the way up to 3rd.
Well, they probably should have put him in the qualifying because he was through the course of practice faster than Murrow Engel, and this drive now, we saw him pass Percat. He's gone down the inside of Paul Morris. He is effectively leading the race because he's the highest order car that has done one stop.
Sorry, he's got up to 34. Greg Ritter, so he's 10th at the moment in that battle. It's a pretty good battle going on. And McIntyre's the other party in that one, car number 18.
We'll have a look. The back of David Brabham's car, we saw the damage, but have a look at where the wing is. The wing is totally on there. It will have hardly any rear downforce. Huge damage on the back of the E63 Mercedes-Benz. We saw Ryan Briscoe trying to get down the inside of David there a couple of laps ago. This is now a pretty heavy battle. Ritter and McIntyre.
McIntyre was one of 19 drivers in this field that ran last weekend in New Zealand, the Super Touring Championship over there. So there's been a lot of racing going on in the recent past in various corners of the universe for many of these guys. They're certainly racking up Ks, and in now car number 9, Stephen Johnson from 3rd position for his first stop in the race. 15 years of experience at this place, never been on the podium.
I would put Engel in the car now and get the co-driver lap done.
Hey, Saru, mate. So just nice and easy, stop on the marks. You do 4 tyres and full fuel.
Very good drive. Oh, they're going to double stint him. So they're going to try to leave Steve in as long as they can. The problem with that is that you've still got to find a time to put Murrow Engel in the car later in the race. I'd be taking my medicine now.
It's strange because given that they've only just completed 33 laps, they haven't actually crossed the statutory line here to be able to get Steve out of the car if you wanted to. So maybe they can't reach it. Even with the safety car, they're not actually showing good fuel range then. I'm not sure. That's a bit strange. Check our numbers on that one.
As I mentioned before, they stopped on lap 13, so that's their second one. High above the back straight here. In the Coates Hire chopper, we look down and find a little bit of push and shove between 66 of Ryan Briscoe. 34 of Greg Ritter.
I actually think it was McLaughlin there, Matt. And Jack Perkins, but when he was down the inside there, it's always hard to have a rule for when you get down there. It's a fast area. It's not really a first corner in that little chicane area, so when you're alongside, who actually gets right of way is always debatable.
Car number 97's come in as well, so we're watching stock here for Canto and David Reynolds. Baird's in as well. Car 4, Lee Holdsworth.
Nod, radio check. Davey, nod. Okay. There's 22, almost there.
So there you can see car 4, the Irwin Tools entry in the foreground.
Nearly ready to go, Davey. Get ready.
And there's
to go.
97, VIP.
Go.
So that's, well, at least the first round of stops done by everybody now. That leaves Percat in the lead, as you guys said earlier. He was first in the queue for those that had stopped.
Some interesting strategies playing out now, guys, because that has effectively got to the point, the 34-lap minimum co-driver lap. So a lot of the guys now are out of the car. Some of the better co-drivers are still able to stay in because their speed and their flexibility in terms of strategy is better. Brett?
Craig Baird just passing through and giving a bit of a high five to Maro Ingo. Maro, I know you've been looking for a while to get a good result. This looks like your day. It's going pretty well, touch wood.
Yeah, Steve's doing a ripper job in the car at the moment. Seems we've made some changes for the race. Seems like they really worked well, and Chris has done a really good strategy there. So, it's looking good. Fingers crossed we'll get it home.
Right across the garage going well. That was a great stint by Craig Baird as well.
Yeah, I think the team's really comes into its own in these events where they can play out the strategy, and that's a really strong point for this team. So, we need to keep doing the same thing, and we'll be all right.
Excellent, mate. Good luck.
Cheers, mate.
So they're just going to have to wait and see, but Stevie Johnson is doing a terrific job with the SP Tools Erebus Motorsport E63. Nick Percat, car number 2 for the Holden Racing Team, leads Ryan Briscoe and David Brabham here at the Gold Coast 600.
So this is a real jumble. This is a case of who's done what in terms of what fuel that they've taken on at that first stop, who's got their co-driver laps out of the way. A handful of drivers have now. Remember that Van Gisbergen's on board the VIP car. Holdsworth's in the Irwin Merc. Reynolds is in the Bottle O Ford. Scott Pye's taken over the Lucas Dumbrell number 80 Commodore. So they're now in for the rest of the day because their co-drivers have done that minimum 34 laps. They're good to go. We're on board car 5. The Bathurst winning Ford with Steve Richards at the helm. Mark Lieb is up in front. The German Porsche driver, Luke Eulen's in front of him. Up front, it's Nick Percat who leads the way. The car that Garth Tander led the early stages of this race aboard. Ryan Briscoe second on the road. And remember that Russell Ingles started that car, the Super Cheap 66 car, and was really mowing his way forward before they had to stack at their first stop. But they've popped back up the queue as the others pit. It's a really jumbled race at the moment. Briscoe that time through 4/10 faster than this car. Nick Percat, double duty this weekend in Porsche Carrera Cup and also with the Holden Racing Team. Behind is Scott Pye. He's a lap down after just pitting before with Paul Morris stepping out. Next car in the queue is Briscoe, then David Brabham, then Greg Ritter, then Jack Perkins, who is a lap down and 25th. So the 2 car that leads the race pitted on lap 13. The 66 car we're watching there of Briscoe pitted at the same time. So they're running on similar lap number stops in terms of their driving time. Primary driver started the race, co-driver now on board. And this is now a relivery number 80 car. Hog's Breath Cafe and Sergeant Security with Scott Pye and Paul Morris. They finished 6th at Bathurst a fortnight ago in what's been otherwise a pretty tough year for Scott Pye. Some big crashes, a lack of speed in the second half of the year, and all sorts of chat about his future for 2014. This is a bit of work at Ford Performance Racing on their fuel system. 38 laps down this time by.
Welcome back. V8 Supercar action live on 7 Sport, where Nick Percat heads the field by 1.5 seconds here, and perhaps, touch wood, things have just started to settle down a little bit.
Fella that's doing a great job at the moment also. Several of them that are notable. Percat in the lead here. Here's a replay of some of the action down across the curbing there for him at turn 2. Ryan Briscoe's doing a tidy job. He's putting a bit of pressure on Percat at the moment. The other fella that you've got to say is doing a terrific job with one hand behind his back, Mark Skate, made the observation in the break. David Brabham with that tweaked rear wing on the car. That's also pretty good speed.
So Ryan Briscoe is taking some ground out of that Percat lead. It's, as you said, 1.6 seconds. Ritter, McIntyre, Youlden, Lieb, Richards, Owen, Gaunt and Taz Douglas. The last 2 cars at the top 10 in 9th and 10th are the 2 Nissan Altimas.
Of those guys that didn't stop, Mark, they didn't get the typical normal benefit from it, though, because of the field having compressed twice.
That's right.
So when they did peel off for their stop, if you're wondering where some of those names and numbers have gone, as you look at our scoring system on screen and look around the track, they've actually fallen further down the ladder than they might otherwise do when that sort of strategy is employed.
We're on board now with Stephen Richards, right up in behind Mark Lieb. This is a great ride around this place.
Car 18, John McIntyre, Alex Davison's in the pits as well at the moment as we head to the northern end of the circuit at turn 11.
Had quite a few people asking us for as much telemetry as we can around here via Twitter. You can join the conversation. Your wish is our command. There's your telemetry out of Stevie Johnson's car, so use the hashtag V8SC or at V8 Supercars. Let us know your thoughts about this crazy day on the Gold Coast.
Race Control have just posted on the timing system here that there'll be a post-race investigation for car 22, Greg Murphy, and car 1, Paul Dumbrell. The incident between turns 7 and 8, the fast chicane. Didn't really see what was happening in the foreground to see why they'd all queued up there, but certainly a significant impact to turn car 22 around so aggressively. Something serious out of order there for that to have happened. So that margin that I spoke about, 33 off the road here. Remember Jack Perkins at the helm.
Ignition back on and hit the starter.
It's got a problem, hasn't it? Same thing as before. So this thing keeps making up its own mind.
So it's a throttle sensor, probably, that you've actually got to turn it off.
Master again, turn the master and the ignition switch off.
Which he did because we saw the lights out there briefly before. So remember that Jack's already a lap down, and this is going to put him further down, 25th, and the safety car deployed for the 3rd time.
So remember the first time that happened, Garth Tander had a 7-second lead. It was whittled away. Now Nick Percat's 2-second lead will become nothing again.
Curious to see who takes this. So some people now have ticked off their co-driver requirements because we're on a 40-second lap.
So Percat, Briscoe, Ritter, Youlden, Lieb, Richards, Owen, Douglas all head into the lane.
Percat hasn't done his complement because Tander come in on lap 13.
Yeah.
So Percat's in, but they won't be able to change.
Yeah, he could have gone out. The fuel range for him would have taken him out to the mid-50s.
Exactly.
So they've taken this opportunity now to stick some fuel in. He's in and out and done, so that's him there coming down the lane at the moment in car 2.
And then a double stacked for this one.
So
I'm getting an ice cream headache in terms of strategy on this now, because when the... I don't know why you double stack in this particular instance now when you didn't take it before.
Go, 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 go.
That wheel just spun. That wheel just spun in the stop. I think it might fit into gear, so he might get away with that one.
Got to catch the train.
9's in again as well. So the calculator's working overtime at the moment. This is going to be a very interesting race in terms of strategy. Daniel Gaunt is the leader in Michael Caruso's car. We're on the Gold Coast.
And
And ice cream headache is indeed the expression of the afternoon, because there are so many different strategies being played out here. Every car must take. Now, this is drama. I just saw this car coming in. This is Stephen Johnson in the SP Tools Mercedes. It's already pitted twice and only was just in just before, what, 7 odd laps ago. It's on the go jacks and being wheeled back into the garage. So what was a brilliant drive from Stephen Johnson has come to an end, and they're wheeling it away. But they've shown pace today. Pace in the Irwin car, pace in this car. David Brabham's been trucking along okay in the damaged 47 car that Tim Slade is now at the wheel. So let's just get a snapshot. Where are we at? Daniel Gaunt leads in the Michael Caruso Nissan. Carl Reindler is second in Rick Kelly's car. Warren Luff is third in Craig Lowndes' car. Johnny Reed's fourth. David Russell's fifth in Todd Kelly's Nissan. So it's a great day for Nissan. They've been competitive here on the Gold Coast. Ash Walsh is next. He's sixth in the Tim Blanchard Ford. Matt Halliday's next. Then Dale Wood, Alex Premer, Chris Pither. Nick Percat's next in 11th from Coulthard, Briscoe, Winterbottom, Van Gisbergen, Webb, Alex Davison, Holdsworth, Reynolds, Slade. Will Davison now in car 6 after having to stack. So it's a really, really jumbled order and a few different strategies at play. Lots of teams have got their co-driver laps out of the way. Some have not. Nick Percat is one of them. He's on board car 2, but he has to do more laps. He's about 5 or 6 laps away from completing his minimum. Of course, he can do more than the minimum, but there is a set minimum of 34 laps that is 1/3 race distance that each driver must do. We're on lap 43, 60 to complete. And at the front, it's the Norton Hornets. The Kiwi Daniel Gaunt in the car that Michael Caruso had 9th on the grid as we get set for a restart. Safety car pulling away. Let's see what the distance can do. What can Warren Luff do for Craig Lowndes? About to complete 43.
Green flags.
Back underway on the Gold Coast. Perfect timing for the 3rd restart. Daniel Gaunt is behind the wheel of car 36, the Nissan Norton Hornet. Behind him, another Nissan of Carl Reindler and Rick Kelly. Warren Luff in car 888, but look at that. Reindler just dives in straight away, and it's switched back by Daniel Gaunt. So the Altimas get side by side and decide to argue the point.
Please. Stop. Oh, can't do that. My God.
There's lots of things you can't do around here, and all of them have been done. And then some.
When you run into each other on a straight line as teammates, honestly.
Oh, it's pretty close to the end. There's only 59 laps to go. Definitely a sheep station in it.
In the ad break, boys, car 9 was forced into the garage. We've been talking about their chances today. Maro Engel and Stephen Johnson. Rear suspension damage, we think, is the problem of the SP Tools racer. And the curbs being blamed. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's just putting it into gear, yeah. So we spotted it, but it's just the engagement of first gear, so they'll get away with that one.
And there's been a clarification in a bulletin issue to everybody on that one. This car's come back in not long after its last stop, so car number 9 in strife in the garage. That was Maro Engel in the background shaking his head.
Check out Carl's heart rate now.
Would have been 210 a minute ago.
Wasn't nearly as high as Scapie's.
How long have we been doing this, Croppo? Seriously, you know, way too long. I don't think I've ever seen you guys shake your heads as much as I've seen it today.
Gee, Steve Johnson going so well, but just the luck of the draw, unfortunately, mate.
Yeah, mate, it was... the car was really good, you know. We were able to pull off some good passes, get through the pack. It's hard starting down the back, but I just tried to keep it clean early on, and just on that last safety car, when that safety car come out, the felt really weird through the back chicane, and it looks like it's broken a rear damper. So that's the way it goes, mate. We'll get back out and then have another go tomorrow.
Well, Steve, credit to you. It was a great drive up to there. Well done.
Yeah, cheers, Brett. Thanks.
It was a super drive. He was just picking his way through the field, and they had genuine pace So that's a real pity, and you can hear it in Stevie's voice and you can see it in Maro Engel's face. So car 15, Carl Reindler and Rick Kelly. Carl driving, started 7th, now leads the race.
I would have put Rick in before. So he's done his laps. So it's a time of the race now where track position and someone like Rick Kelly leading would have been the right thing, correct?
Scapey, just when you thought it was over for Stevie J today, there he goes. He's back out there, which is fantastic news. They fixed that damper.
Keeping an eye also on car 888. Stopped on lap 23. Just cranking numbers here at the moment. They want to get to their critical lap here of 60. One stop to home. So Warren Luff third at the moment. One stop to home for them would put them in a pretty strong position. Right-hand mirror just being plucked off Carl's car there, the Jack Daniels entry. So Nissan 1 and 2, Warren Luff in 3. It's car number 33, Jack Perkins. This car's stopped twice today with a mystery electrical drama, we think. So just keep an eye out for that. Oh. Rubbed it up to the wall just for good measure.
One word always comes to mind when we come to the Gold Coast: unpredictable. And that's exactly how it's played out again today as Carl Reindler leads the way in the Nissan Altima at the Gold Coast 600.
So it's been a crazy, crazy day so far. We're not even halfway through this opening race in the Armour All Gold Coast 600. And it's Nissan 1-2 and Warren Luff in third. Driving, remember, for Craig Lowndes, who will step in at the next pit stop. And Craig Lowndes' championship rivals are buried. We're on board with one of them, Winterbottom. He's 12th. Will Davison's 20th. Jamie Whincup is out. He never got into car number 1, and now the 33 car of Jack Perkins is going into the garage. They're 2 laps down in 24th, he and Scott McLaughlin. And this mystery continues with why that car keeps shutting down. But back aboard with Winterbottom. He sits position 12. Reindler leads from Gaunt, Luff, Johnny Reid, David Russell, Ash Walsh, Matt Halliday, Dale Wood, Alex Premer, and Nick Percat. That is Percat trying to get a move on the Frenchman. We're watching Fabian Coulthard as well. And the Lockwood Commodore just up in front, so it's pretty spicy in the tail end of the top 10. They are racing for keeps today. After today, there's only 5 races to go in the championship at Phillip Island and Sydney Olympic Park. The Gold Coast is always a crucial one. In the past, it's been one that's tripped up Craig Lowndes, and it's helped Jamie Whincup skip away and take the title. But the roles have been reversed today. Now, this is a great scrap. Lots to play out. Co-drivers are behind the wheel of the top 8 cars on the road at the moment. Alex Premer is the best of the primaries. He's 9th. And he's just in front of this queue. Reindler leads by 1.2 seconds over Daniel Gaunt. It is a mixed up, weird race on the Gold Coast, but we wouldn't have it any other way. Lap 49 and Nissan run 1-2.
As you look across these beautiful beaches and the high rises and a classic Saturday afternoon at Surfers Paradise, you'd never know that there's just absolute mayhem and madness evolving all around us on the streets. Let's take you all the way back. I don't know how we're going to capture all this. Warren Luff started from pole position. Greg Murphy in car 22. They decided to put Tander in car 2, and it was a masterstroke. But look at this. The first of many rubs between the Nissan teammates. And then the Gelb Ford gets turned around. David Brabham arrived on the scene and managed to get past. Bit of chaos as usual in pit lane. They had to double stack the Holden Racing Team Commodores. And then this big, big moment. Paul Dumbrell into the rear of Greg Murphy's entry with James Courtney. Murphy hit the wall so hard, he was sent spearing back out onto the track. Enormous damage for the second time in as many events. crunch. That's the end of the day for car 22. Look at that. An absolute mess. Paul Dumbrell and Jamie Whincup, the championship leading car, also done and dusted. Whincup didn't even get a drive. And then it's been a battle at the front. So look at that. Dumbrell's car just stopped. He was out and walking back to pit lane. At the same time, car 888 had a puncture on the left rear. So Red Bull Racing Australia were scrambling left, right and centre. And at the end of all that, we haven't even done, well, they're on 50 laps. So we're at the halfway mark pretty much. And Carl Reindler is our race leader, 1.7 seconds ahead of Daniel Gaunt in the Norton Hornet.
I made the remark earlier, Matt, and there's a lot of smoke there, rear of somebody's car, some oil perhaps. That Luff and Loundes were trying to sneak to lap 60 to have the one filled to get to the end. Now, the two lead Nissans are on that strategy as well at the moment, 15 and 36. The question will be at the comparative pace between the two cars, and there's been well publicised variance in the fuel burn of those cars. So both the Nissans will get to about lap 64 on this fuel, but they don't really have to get that far if they don't want to, and 888 can get as far as lap 65. It gets them into that range, that window, to be able to get to the end of the race with one more fill. So these top three cars are in a pretty curious battle here. Very curious to watch how this unfolds.
The question mark we had before about why they didn't put Rick Kelly in, on our boards it says Reindler, but Rick Kelly is in that car. So Rick Kelly, with the strategy that you're talking about, now is absolutely in contention.
Absolutely, yeah.
Ooh, that was an ugly big slide, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was the Irwin Tools entry of Lee Holdsworth and Craig Baird. I've given up trying to guess who's behind the wheel.
Be handy if we knew who was in them. That'd make a big step forward, wouldn't it?
Hey, I've just snuck down here. I'm right at the end of pit. Wow, right at the end of pit wall here. That's the little speed camera right next to me there. They're doing about 260 here, right near my left shoulder. But look at this braking behind me. This is what we talk about. You're going to really... That just blew my headset off. Wow, that is fast. Seriously, that is impressive. I've been around this game a long time. That is impressive. And when you get down there, yes, you can see this, the turn continues, and you get hard on the brakes, and you've got to try and manage the car when its butt is up in the air with very little rear grip and get it right down into the corner. It takes real technique, but I'm staying here for a little bit longer. This is cool.
Hey, Larko, you're a copycat. You saw Neil do it at Bathurst, and all of a sudden you're having a crack at it. What's going on?
Hey, mate, Neil's about 15 feet back. Look at this. Look at this car. Look, I nearly touch it.
Dare you. Can you invest in a pair of sunnies too? I don't want anything flicking up in your face. Okay, so Rick Kelly is our race leader in car 15. Well, that's what we're being told. The Lockwood entry, Fabian Coulthard and Luke Yilden in 8th. So remember those green lights that you see on the left-hand side of the windscreen. Just watch this down here as Shane Van Gisbergen sneaks in and Mark Winterbottom's going to go with him. On the inside of Matt Halliday. So the green light is to indicate that the co-driver is behind the wheel. The problem is, folks, that sometimes they forget to switch that.
Percat straight through the chicane. Rick Kelly is not in the car. We're just sending texts. I know.
Oh, there's Rick.
There he is. That's Rick Kelly.
He's doing an amazing
job. Really good job.
Driving it from the garage, isn't he? Hey, mate. You know that brain freeze that you had?
Yeah. I know.
You're passing it around. It's contagious.
Shane Van Gisbergen's on the radio, animated at the moment as well, unhappy about something. He's down the order slightly in 9th.
Luff has just gone by Daniel Gaunt. put himself into second.
And I have just rung Nissan Motorsport, and it is Daniel Gaunt in the car.
I don't think Rick Kelly's in car 15 either.
No, so I might do some trouble down here at the hairpin. Alex Davison's car 18.
It's the brothers.
And Will in 6.
Oh, that won't, it's not grabbing. That's the starter motor turning over, but it's not engaging, so he can't get it restarted. So that buzz is the buzzing of the starter motor that doesn't engage. It's just engaged now.
Reverse gear. Alex doesn't have reverse gear, mate.
Either do I, mate. It's broken.
So they're both stuck.
I didn't think we could see anything.
What, your thing's too broken?
Two brothers parked there together and they both can't get reverse gear.
With cars from the same outfit.
That's just capped it off for me.
And I can hear Alex on the radio talking about not being able to grab reverse. They think it's busted, so what a disaster.
They're going to have to put the safety car out. They just can't move the car there. I mean, he can't get reverse, so it's lodged against the fence.
What we can do is you've got no reverse.
Exactly. This is a pretty bold move. That's Will down the inside of Alex. That's a silly move.
Whoever it was that scampered down the inside in the Nissan was fortunate there.
Safety car, you can scramble, safety car, scramble.
Oh, how close was that? The one you picked, that has missed by nothing. Moffat has got through there. Another coat of paint that would have made contact.
A race control have had to activate the Pettis STP safety car yet again. That's the 4th time it's been out on the circuit. It's going to do more laps than most of these front runners back after this.
So in comes Warren Luff, in comes Johnny Reid, in comes Ash Walsh, Shane Van Gisbergen as well. Garth Tander ready for car number 2 with Nick Percat at the wheel. So pit lane gets pretty busy. Reindler stays on the road. Gaunt stays there. David Russell does. Nissans are 1, 2 and 3. Bremer stays out. Coulthard, Winterbottom, Halliday. They're trying to make sure that Percat knows where to pull in. Luff out, Loundes in. He's got a big chance to rip into this championship.
Okay, so all wheels are done, all wheels
Whincup out, Davison delayed. Winterbottom not quite at the front. Tander climbing aboard car 2. He led early this race. This is David Wall, the lanky David Wall, climbing in to replace Chris Pither. They've had a good weekend. And there is the rejoin. Loundes out in front of Van Gisbergen. There's D'Alberto, the number 3 car. He climbs aboard and takes over. And that's Wall rejoining right in front of Scott Pye in that Hog's Breath Sergeant Security Commodore. Tim Blanchard now in 17, and here he is. Car number 2.
It's not starting.
And it's not starting. This race gets weirder by the second. Another of the contenders has got drum. You can hear it. It won't crank into life for Garth Tander. There's Davison. He's been back to the lane after that contact with his brother. And still Tander stuck. They've got to prove that this thing will start under its own power. Just won't crank into life. So that's drama. HRT with a smash 22 car. A number 2 car that won't refire. Can you believe this? It is a crazy, weird day on the Gold Coast. Carl Reindler still leads. We're under safety car conditions. So this car is still on the lead lap of the race until the leaders come around. But the safety car's going past in the background. There it is. Car number 2 is off the lead lap. What a weird day. Nissan are 1, 2 and 3 on the coast.
It's been a day when confusion has reigned supreme here at the Gold Coast. And look at this. More dramas at the Holden Racing team. It stopped in its tracks, car number 2 in pit lane.
So Garth Tander's at the helm. Looks like he's just got it out of the box slightly. Scafie observed that. Now it won't start. Larko to add.
Yeah, well, really hard to add here, Neil. If you you probably hear the starter motor winding over as I can, and this is a horror one for any team because there is no obvious candidate for a problem here. This can be anything from ECU, it could be a connection somewhere, could be a coil pack, could be a number of things, and these are hard, these ones. And what you've got to do is race time. Sorry, mate. What's really important, you've got to find it. So if you don't find it, and you think you find it, and you haven't got it right, and you send it back out tomorrow, there we are. She's just fired. There you go. You can hear it.
What's weird is that we saw a problem with the car 33 as well. McLaughlin and Perkins' car, just all of a sudden electrical problem. So under investigation also the incident at turn 4 between the brothers Davis and Alex and Will. Cars 18 and 6, race control. We'll look at that one afterwards.
So these guys, remember, Mark Winterbottom and Stevie Richards started in 14th. They're now up to 6th. The other side of the championship ledger, Jamie Whincup's out of it. So your viewer vote. Can Frosty and Stephen Richards go back-to-back and win this event? v8supercars.com.au/vote or download the 7 Sport app. Yes or no? Can they do it? Well, I reckon there should be a maybe.
The other really big question here is we're not quite at the point where you can get home with a full load of fuel to the end of the race. So will other people quickly stop again? Or how much fuel saving will they embark on to get to the end? Because at the moment, they're not in that final range. They're not in that final window.
That's right. They're basically 3 laps out from the critical lap number.
And gambling on safety car intervention.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, seriously. Car 7, David Russell on the restart. Facing the wrong way.
Gather it up when you can. I'll let you know if I can see it when they go past.
David Russell at the helm of car 7, the Todd Kelly, Jack Daniels entry, flick spin, tail of the field.
That was Prema.
All going again.
That was Prema. Just have another look. Long way back.
He'll cop a penalty for that.
Can't do that.
So he's wiped across the rear bumper of the Jack Daniels car, and he was very lucky, David, not to end up with somebody else arrive in the grill of that car.
At that stage, it was a Nissan 1-2-3 on the restart again.
So they're gambling on safety car. It'll be interesting to see who's got pace and how economical they can all be as they try and get into an economy battle here to the end of the race.
There's one of the Nissans.
It's car 36, Dan Gaunt, that peeled off in the Nissan Hornet.
I wouldn't be too bothered about this car because it's about to do a drive-through, that one.
34.
It's a good opportunity for us to go for a ride with Mark Winterbottom. These are your votes coming in. Live vote tracker. If you're a Frosty fan, get voting. Because it's swinging the other way at the moment. I reckon everybody's just hedging their bets.
We need to push hard here, we need to push hard. I know you do anyway. 43 to go.
So he slides through.
Tim Edwards, just a day of mixed fortunes for you at the moment. I guess Alex and Will Davis, and you want to get them together and knock their heads together.
Yeah, I'm not sure I can politely describe what happened there. I mean, obviously, Will tried to put a move on his brother and thought there might be a bit of brotherly love, left him a little bit of room, and Alex wasn't having any of it, so it got it horribly wrong, unfortunately.
Tim, the flip side is car 5, Frosty, going very well.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I mean, it's difficult because everybody's on different fuel strategies, and at the moment, I'd say actually Loundes is probably the effective leader. Yeah, he pitted, and he's going to have a much shorter stop than us at the next pit stop.
How soon till you bring Frosty in, do you think?
We can't get the minimum fuel in for another 6 or 7 laps.
Okay, great. Thanks, Tim.
Yeah, so Tim's saying what we've been talking about, that they need more fuel to get to the end of this. So Loundes, for example, the Loundes Luff 888 car, as we look at the replay here of Fabian Coulthard, car number 14 at turn 2, super slow-mo. Does he end up rubbing the wall down here? The answer to that is yes. There goes another mirror.
I think that would have been a 99-1 viewer vote, that one.
Wasn't a hard one, was it? So 55 was the last lap there, and a driving infringement. Car number 34. No surprise, as we talked about before, Skate. So that's Alex Prema. So it's Lee Holdsworth on the left side of screen. Into the top 10 for Lee. Matt Halliday, the Kiwi who lives in Los Angeles, who went back to the States after Sandown, but he went back to New Zealand after Bathurst. Can't believe, as you said earlier, the angle on the rear wing of that car of Tim Slade, David Brabham, it's had such a punch in the back that rear wing can't possibly be doing its job.
So it's a bit of wait and see right now. But Carl Reindler is our race leader in the Nissan Altima. Fabian Coulthard is second. Mark Winterbottom is third. We are watching with interest the strategy game playing out. It looks as though it will fall the way of Craig Lowndes, but long way to go.
I've been keeping an eye. Look at this. This is absolutely on for every position on the track. And pit lane, Michael Caruso's just pitted 36. The Norton Nissan has been wheeled into the garage, so that would really hurt things. Now, apparently there's damage to that car because it's hit a curb in a very, very big way. There's a few officials with a few souvenirs today from the Erebus team. Look at this. This is on. Tim Blanchard hits Tim Slade. Somehow they get around the corner. What is going on today? Has everyone pressed Control Alt Delete? We saw a very scrappy Sandown 500. We cleaned it up at Bathurst. And there's weirdness aplenty today. We're on lap 62. Reindler still leads the Jack Daniels Nissan. Rick Kelly to climb aboard. He leads by a second over Fabian Coulthard. Mark Winterbottom's next from Reynolds and Moffat, but Prema is now in from the next spot to serve that pit lane penalty. So that'll give Webb a spot. Van Gisbergen. Lowndes is 8th. Watch car 888. It's in the game. Oh, this is tight. This is still going. Slade and Blanchard down the first chicane. Slade won't make it through there. Blanchard doesn't make it through either. And they both skip and keep going. And that contact between Will and Alex Davison will be dealt with post-race. That's the update from race control. So we're watching 17. Tim Blanchard in position 12. Slade, Davison, Ingle now side by side with Scott Pye. And Pye will grab that spot. And this is a pit stop for the Dodo team. Dean Fiore now on board. That was a cut from Scott Pye through the beach chicane. Now Davison lunging. Going by Tim Slade. Wonder if he had a good look at that Erebus Mercedes as he went by. It's missing a grille. It's got a damaged rear end. It's been in a war. And it's still got to do another 40 laps. Out front, Carl Reindler leads the way. Coulthard's nibbling away. Winterbottom is third. It's a strange old day. 20 cars still on the lead lap. And here are our leaders. And look at this. Passenger perspex window coming loose on car 5. Let's keep an eye on this.
Even more drama. More. Mark Winterbottom has loose bodywork here on car number 5. And this may change your viewer vote. They'll be watching this very closely in race control.
Oh, they've got to do something about it. There's no way, unless it delodges almost immediately. How's the vision we've seen through this back chicane over the weekend? Can it get any weirder?
It's affecting every team.
Well, this car really at the moment is probably the car to beat in the race now. It's effectively going to be the leader. Unless it gets a drive-through penalty for...
They're going to have to come in anyway for fuel. This was up at turn 11. Mechanical black flag.
Car 5, loose passenger door window, left side.
Meantime, there was a big dive bombing going on earlier up at turn 11, the northern end of the circuit. I think that was Blanchard on Tim Slade. Like that needed more damage at the rear.
And it's gone.
But this happened to, I think it was Tander a while ago,
They're
where
falling out, all good.
copped a penalty, and then, but you can't reverse a mechanical black flag. So unfortunately, they're going to come in and smile and wave and have to send it, which is pretty tough. So that's an awkward one for race director Tim Schenken. He's made the call. It's a safety-based call.
Well, we just heard Frosty say it's fallen out. It's all good.
So Tim Edwards will be frantically trying to negotiate with Frank Adamson down there. Here we go. Here's the onboard.
Okay, mate, we need to pit this lap, please. Pit this lap. Big in lap.
Great camera work to be able to get that. That is fantastic. And there's the flag.
And the mechanical black flag went up on the land as well. So there's not much you can do. You can't rescind it.
Well, Michael Caruso, very obvious your frustration. We know how tough this concrete canyon is on cars, and it's got you.
Yeah, look, unfortunately, the upright on the car's failed, so I guess just another mechanical failure we've had this year, so it's made it tough. I mean, we had excellent speed, but we sort of got to show a little bit of it at the beginning of the race, and I just want to get out there, you know, and finish a race, I guess. So it's frustrating, but look, it's great to have such good speed, and I guess, you know, everyone in a part of the Northern Hornets is, you know, proud that we made the shootout, and tomorrow we'll come back and fight a bit stronger.
Rest up. Good luck tomorrow, Michael. Thanks.
Thanks, Sarah.
Larko.
Well, it was well picked up, Neil, because Chris O'Toole here, the car manager here, was pleading with Frank Adamson, the chap behind me here from 28 Supercars. Look, they're having a chat now. He was pleading with him, you know, that the bit's falling off the car. It's not an issue anymore. Frank was talking to the race director, but there was no way around it, as you rightly said, mate.
Unfortunately, we've seen this movie before. So they'll put the fuel in it, which Tim alluded to earlier.
Okay. Tear off. Tear off, thank you. We've got about 7 seconds. Give me clear when it drops. About 4 seconds. 2. Go.
This is now in the window. They're right now to get home.
The Ford fans are still showing the faith.
No one coming on the front straight yet.
Timed fuel stop, 3.4 litres a second is the dump.
Big outlap here, big outlap.
A lot of damage on the front. Car 7.
Yep. It's from the headbutts we saw.
Yeah.
Fuel.
Never seen that.
Yep. Go.
Something's going on with Reindler, because he was right at the top and he's now back to 5th.
And his last lap was about 3 seconds slower than the leading group.
Yeah.
Well, top of the mark.
We've got to put Rick Kelly in that car now.
James Moffat's doing well also for Nissan out there. Saw a glimpse of him before. So into the pits now, Coulthard, car 14, Lockwood Racing. Sister car in the garage being worked on for tomorrow's race. Jason Bright, I know, is back at the hotel. He stayed away from the action this afternoon. Pretty depressing and distressing day for him to let so many points go by.
Still got more than 30 laps to go, boys. David Reynolds at the top of the list. He did his fastest lap of the race 4 laps ago.
We've seen the cars at Bathurst and also here this weekend extremely sensitive to track temperature. And as the track cools, they find pace very quickly. And those early laps at Bathurst when it was hot a couple of weeks ago are quite slow. By the end of the race, they're quite quick.
Neil, another car, Tim Blanchard, car 17, has stalled in pit lane and just can't restart.
It's happening often. Carl Reindler has come in car 15, the Jack Daniels Nissan. So they will put Rick Kelly in that car. But this stop will hurt because the lap on the way in was obviously had an incident around there somewhere.
Yeah.
Dropped him a few spots and lost some valuable track time.
Waiting on the fuel. Should be clear when the car drops.
Up until then, he was doing a good job too.
Ready. Go.
So Loundes is the interesting one. He was last in on lap 55. We said that was just before the window opens. So, again, safety cars will have a big impact on this, but if he conserves fuel based on where he is, it will be very interesting to see whether he can get home from here, Crompo. So the battle for the race right now...
Big contact with the wall at turn 13. There's the other angle of it, and it's Russell in the car at the moment. Russell Ingall, Supercheap Auto Holden.
So, boys, you just referenced to the Loundes car. I just asked Roland Day and Jeremy Moore together, and they were both immediately on the front foot. Immediately. No way, they said.
Good, thanks, Larko. So, he's still the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah.
Shane Van Gisbergen has just got around James Moffat too, so Van Gisbergen up to second. He's behind David Reynolds.
He's been very fast, Matt.
And he's on the same strategy as Loundes. Last stopped on lap 55, Shane Van Gisbergen. There he is.
As you just mentioned, Scafie, Loundes just did the fastest lap of the race on lap 69, a 1:11.6.
So that's not fuel conservation speed. So he will have to top this car up based on that speed. Winterbottom very much in contention also. He's made his final stop.
As soon as you can there, mate. He's struggling. Go out there again that lap. Okay.
Pretty interesting battle now, Loundes to Van Gisbergen. Van Gisbergen 11.8 on the previous lap. He's also done an 11.65, so he's actually done the second fastest lap of the race behind Loundes. Van Gisbergen now dives down the inside of Reynolds.
You get the feeling that Loundes won't be in position 4 for very long. It's happening as we speak, but that is our vote. That's our question. Can Loundes win it from here? He's won 2 races before. Let us know what you're thinking.
James Moffat's not far away from the end of this load of fuel as well.
Gee, Loundes almost got the fence then off the back of the chicane. He was right out sideways and dragged the right rear guard so close to the wall.
Further to that viewer vote question, if you go to V8 Supercars website or download the 7 Sport app, if Loundes finishes 4th or better, he will take the championship lead. So that's one to think about. Do you keep this maximum attack and take the risk? Or are you comfortable to bank the points, bring the car home straight as David Reynolds peels off? That puts Loundes up into second now. So the charge is on from car 888, but Shane Van Gisbergen's on the same strategy and he's pushing ahead.
What a shot, Loundes through the beach chicane, sideways and hustling forward. And this is the stop for Reynolds. Bottle forward. We made the point there about Loundes.
Looking good.
Just to give you an update on what unfolds here. It's 150 for a win in terms of championship points. A little bit of a delay there in the right rear, but still Jack in the air taking fuel. It's 138 for second. It's 129 for third, 120 for fourth, and 111 for fifth. And considering that the margin was 114 between Whincup and Loundes, 4th or better will put Loundes in the title lead with 5 races to go. Now the day gets worse for 18. Alex Davison is 20th and 2 laps down. He's been off through the first chicane clearly and ripped apart that front spoiler. The under trays kinked and smashed. What a disastrous day. But out front, Van Gisbergen, Loundes just sets a new fastest lap. 1:11.44 as Moffat peels off to pit lane. So Loundes, the pole man, is coming on strong. 30 to run on the Gold Coast. as Alex Davison limps on back. Here is Van Gisbergen. With the Rick Kelly Nissan in between. Loundes next. So Rick is in the middle of a real rumble here. And Loundes would love to clear that Nissan as soon as possible to give him a crack at the Clipsal 500 champion, Shane Van Gisbergen. Remember, Van Gisbergen's teammate Jonathan Webb was second in this race last year on the Saturday. He is next on the road. He's third. And that's been a trend with Webb this year. The hot events on form. He's been missing for the last 4 or 5 events. He's been struggling, but he was strong in Darwin. He was strong in Texas, where there's high temperature. And he's coming good on the Gold Coast, the home event for Techno Autosports. That time, Van Gisbergen, 11.9. Loundes, 12.3. Pretty keen to clear this Nissan. Rick Kelly been shown in scoring in 16th. And best of the cars off the lead lap. 15 left on the lead lap. We're on lap 74 on the Gold Coast.
Well, this crazy day continues. Under 30 laps to go. Shane Van Gisbergen's our race leader. Another fastest lap posted by Craig Loundes. 1:11.44 on lap 72. So Loundes is certainly charging. As the shadows get longer from the high rises, especially around this part of the circuit, the sun will be in their eyes. And thanks for having your say on our question about Craig Loundes possibly winning it from here. 73% in favour of Loundes taking the checkered flag, but this day has shown that anything can happen.
Sorry.
And provisionally, in terms of the championship, there is next to nothing in it.
Can you believe that? Oh, Loundes now, you could hear the rear wheels were locked, and he ran Rick right out to the fence after that move. It was a little bit cheeky at the end. He battled to get down there. He moved it wide on the exit, and there was no road left there for Rick Kelly. Now, Rick Kelly is essentially a lap down on the 2 cars in front. So Van Gisbergen, who was on the same strategy as Neil said a second ago, as Craig Loundes, is the only car as fast as Loundes at the moment, 11.5 on the previous lap. So this is a very good battle. These guys are now sprinting home.
And Delberto in 3rd place is on the same strategy as well. He's got pretty good pace.
This has had big complications too, big consequences rather, for the Pertec Enduro Cup, with Whincup and Dumbrell putting in a DNF. That'll mean that Loundes and Luff will take the lead of the Enduro Cup with 1 race to go tomorrow.
And importantly, Winterbottom and Richards have closed the margin. They're 142 behind coming into the race. It's still a moving feast at this stage, at 96 points down on current numbers, so that tightens them up in the battle.
Jonathan Webb, car 19, into pit lane.
Yeah, just while Burritz and Larko were sweating it out in pit lane, I thought I'd come up and enjoy the hospitality of the V8 Supercars Paddock Club and run into this guy, 7-time Australian Ironman champion, Kai Hurst, enjoying the V8 Supercars.
I love it. You know, to be here, a part of the Armour All 600 is fantastic. And you know what? Not only that, we're here on the Gold Coast and the sun's out. It's a beautiful day, and you know, it's really awesome to come down here and watch these guys race.
And of course, you're here enjoying the Paddock Club with some of your mates as well.
Sorry?
You're enjoying the Paddock Club with some of your mates as well.
Oh, absolutely. You know, it was fantastic to be able to bring these boys up, and you know, I wouldn't miss this for the world. You know, very privileged to be a part of it, and you know, I'm so stoked that I can sit here and watch these guys.
Thanks very much, Kai. Enjoy the day.
No worries. Thank you.
It's a good man, Kai Hurst. Hell of an athlete. Multiple Australian Ironman champion.
OTD, great job, mate. Push, 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 mate, push.
Loves the V8 Supercars. This is all unfolding right before us. Shane Van Gisbergen, Craig Loundes, 1.7 seconds. That's the gap at the front. Remember back in 2010 when Van Gisbergen and Whincup had that incredible dice at the end.
very fast at the moment, D'Alberto. He was the fastest car. In fact, he just set his fastest lap on the previous lap at 11.6. He was the fastest car of the top 3. He's on the same strategy as we said. A great shot.
It's the kind of help we need. Not wrong.
Even they couldn't fix our drama today.
Come in and airlift a few cars out of the way. So, Winterbottom pushing on. He's in 10th. Tony D'Alberto said to me before the race, after that qualifying session, he said, I just want a clean race. That's all I want, just a clean race. And I said, well, mate,
you're in the wrong place.
You know, but you are starting from the right end. You start yourself further up the grid here. That's why everybody will tell you how crucial qualifying is. Case in point, Win Cup, J.
It's look fantastic.
No other event like this one. If you ever get yourself a ticket to the Gold Coast 600, thoroughly recommend you get along that back straight and the chicanes at between 6, 7, 8, 9. You just watch the cars go barreling through there and tipped up on their side like matchbox cars. Alex Davison steps out of the way. James Moffat continuing to punch away. So car 360 is in position number 13. But it's a Kiwi and a Dutchman at the top of the list here at the Armour All Gold Coast 600.
So Van Gisbergen's margins, 1.4 seconds to Loundes. Tony D'Alberto is third. His best finish ever came earlier in the year at Winton when he had a great run. He finished 4th. He's never stood on a podium in his V8 career. He debuted as an enduro driver in 2005. He's been full-time in this championship since 2008. And he's clearing the Tim Slade Mercedes, which is a lap down in 17th place. So D'Alberto is 6.5 seconds clear of Will Davison, who will have to pit before the end of this race to make it home. So it's a little bit of false economy for where car 6 really is in the overall order. Russell Ingall next. We'll have to pit Chaz Mostert. So this thing's got a long way to play out. Lap it up though. It's quite amazing. Have a look at this. Ever wanted to see inside one of Erebus's cars? That's an opportunity. Not one we were intending on having. 15 cars of the 27 that started are on the lead lap. The last car running is Scott McLaughlin. He's 10 laps down in the Fujitsu Commodore that's had all sorts of electrical problems. We're right on board. David Reynolds looking back at Moffat there. 12th and 13th. Here is Davison, Ingall, Dean Fiore a lap down in 18th in between them. So at the moment out front, it's Van Gisbergen v Loundes. They're trading lap times. Of course, Van Gisbergen last pitted on 55. Loundes and Luff for 55. It's a case of what can they do to squeeze it on home. Not too many cars without mirrors missing, doors smashed, rear bumper bars pushed in, grills bent or missing, spoilers scuffed. Oh, Fiore made a little bit of a meal of that. Got it wide over the chicane, so it's pretty much a race from here on in. Ingall clears that lap car and hustles on. He sits in 5th with Ryan Briscoe. Lap 80 and Van Gisbergen leads the way. We'll see how this plays out on the run home.
After all the crashes and all the chaos and confusion, it looks as though this one is going to become a match race between Craig Loundes, who's the fastest man out there again, 1:11.33, new fastest lap. And our leader, that's him with the lights on, Shane Van Gisbergen. Nothing separates them heading towards the final 20 laps.
Guys, just have a look. This calculator down on the desk here is smoky at the moment because what's been happening is they have been trying to work out how much fuel and when to put into Shane Van Gisbergen's car. Now, the fact is he is going to have to stop. He is going to have to take on more fuel, but it will be a simple splash and dash. But look out from there. This is set for a thriller.
Yeah, and Barrett's right over my shoulder. We're about to do a throw here, and look, the boys have all just stood up here in Loundes' pit. And here, Roland Dane, the team principal, Jeremy Moore, that's Craig's engineer, a lot of intense discussion. Because remember, it's going to be 34 odd seconds, 36 seconds to transit the pit lane, and I'm guessing they're going to probably have to put 5 seconds of fuel in it. So this is very intense, and we'll go down to wire. And I'm going out on the lane because I'm going to watch this stop.
So Van Gisbergen's heading in.
Thanks for hanging. So nice and easy into the box. Fuel, time. Make sure you pull up in the
Yeah, guys, just as we called it, Shane Van Gisbergen coming in for that pit stop. This has got to be quick. It's got to be fast. It's a splash and dash. They want to get that fuel in and get out of here as fast as they can.
So quick now. Yep, all looking good. Okay, go.
No hiccups, no glitches.
Watch the traffic on that entry. We're going to have to race hard.
But another fastest lap by Loundes. He took the opportunity to do it again, a 1:11.332.
Just before Shane came in, top 6 cars, and I just haven't had a chance to do the math beyond that, basically all on the same strategy. They all stopped on lap 55, with the exception of Ingle, who before the stop to Van Gisbergen was 5th, he's now gone to 4th. He stopped 1 lap later, so that does have implications. There's 3.4 litres a lap on average being burnt. Oh, sorry, 2.6, and it's 3.4 litres per second for a refill, I should say. So in comes car 888 now. So Ingle could potentially stand still for a slightly shorter period of time.
Only, so I need you on the brake and the clutch, please. Brake and the clutch. Yeah, pretty quick one. Give her a little bit of a drink of a juice. Send her on the merry way.
Craig coming in here now. The 888 guys were standing on the lane and timing Van Gisbergen's fuel. He put 12 seconds of fuel in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There you go, about 6 seconds of fuel in. Great race.
And only rear tyres, Larko, is that right? Only rears then? So there's a difference there.
Mate, I don't know, I was too busy trying to count to 6.
Yeah, no, that was hard for you. I could see the strained look on your face. So that will have quite a significant impact here. This has basically vaulted Loundes to being in front of Van Gisbergen, and by a fair margin.
So it's worked.
This helps the Winterbottom cause to all of this as well. There he is. So it leaves D'Alberto out in the lead from... Oh, big problem for Fabian. Where's he gone? Fortunately...
right front damper. Mate, bad luck there. See if we can get back.
Wow, Tony D'Alberto's come in.
It looks like it's broken a front upright in that car.
It's really fearful for where he was heading then.
So there's car 3, Team Highflex, out of the lead.
4.0.
Try and get it back around.
Going anywhere, so we'll pull you in and see if we can get through to complete. So just make it back.
So I'll be looking to see what the gap is between Loundes and Winterbottom when all this sorts. Check this out. So he's had a massive leap across the curbs, and as it's landed, masked by Shane Van Gisbergen, it's hit the secondary curb, which has then failed. Oh yeah, there you go. So it's failed the front right corner of the car, broken the upright or one of the wishbones, plucked the whole right front of the car off. But then at that speed, I was worried about where Fabian was going to. Fortunately, he came out the other side straight, because it could have gone either direction into a wall here. Here is from behind. Bam! On the second curb there, it smashed the front suspension out of the car, and luckily he's been able to bring that back into the box.
The answer to your question about...
I'd like you to try to get it in the shed if you can, please.
What a weekend for Brad Jones Racing.
He's done a good job on 3 wheels there. So the answer to your question is 8.5 seconds is the gap from Craig Loundes to Mark Winterbottom. He's currently in 3rd. So it's Loundes leading the way from Van Gisbergen, Winterbottom and Tony D'Alberto. And another victim in Fabian Coulthard.
So 18 to complete, and it is Craig Lowndes who leads the way. The man with more race wins in the history of this championship than any other, but with just a handful here on the Gold Coast, and not since 2005. Speak of the devil. Here he is, 888. 4.9 seconds the margin to Shane van Gisbergen, and in control. He and Warren Luff, remember, started from pole position. So it's Lowndes leading Van Gisbergen, Winterbottom, D'Alberto, Ingle, Will Davison, Wall, Mostert, Reynolds and Moffat. That's the 10. Then Webb, Holdsworth, Pye, Rick Kelly, Prema, Slade, Fiore and Todd Kelly.
17 to go, your headlights around the bloke in front.
18 cars in the lead lap.
Okay, thank you.
Tales of woe, plenty of carnage. It's been a standard day on the Gold Coast, but we're not done with yet. Lowndes is looking dominant. He's looking in the box seat, but Van Gisbergen, new fastest lap that time around. 1:11.18. 4.6 seconds to find to get to the back of this car. He's closing in too on the number 9 SP Tools Merc with Murrow Engel at the helm. Remember, they had a damper drama with that car. It's 23rd. Look at the leftovers. Mirrors and mirror skins from where they've bumped the fence. Inside, outside. Anyone bring a broom? A big one? Preferably with a motor. Engel gets out of the way and allows Lowndes to push on. Approaching the 2-hour mark of this race. And that later afternoon sun starting to become a little bit of an issue. This is over the back part of the circuit around near the area of Main Beach. And this is on the pit wall. I'd say they've lost the radio to one of the Jack Daniels Nissans. Oh, we can hear you. Not sure if the driver can hear them though. 17 laps. L17 means 17 laps to go. Oh, car around. It's Chaz Mostert. They've been reporting that the rear grip was going from this car, and that wouldn't shock me. Van Gisbergen, another fastest lap of the race, but he's 4.1 seconds behind. This thing's got a long way to go.
We are on lap 87 out of 102. Craig Lowndes is our race leader by 4.1 seconds, but Shane van Gisbergen has just done back-to-back fastest laps. Lap 85 was quickest, and then he backed it up with a 1:11.14 next time around.
And remember, he put 4 tyres on, Matt. So Craig Lowndes with just 2 tyres at the rear, the shortest fill that they could get away with to make it to the end, and Van Gisbergen 4 tyres. This is a big dive by Mostert, and he ends up down the escape road. He couldn't get it pulled up.
He was inside the top 10 at that point as he put the move on David Wall. 7th and 8th these guys were battling for. He's very close to giving that thing a whack. So he goes all the way up the escape road, and when he came out the other side of this, he's 11th. And problems also at JD Racing, Jack Daniels Racing, comms issue. They can hear him, he can't hear them.
Lowndes, another mirror gone, and a little bump at the rear guard too. Have a listen. That's mostly sunlight there. It's really bad at this time of the afternoon. Turns back into the west. And as you turn left, you can't see the edge of the road. So Craig, that's not really a mistake there. That's a spot that you run very close to the fence all the time. They're just coming down to this area now. And when you see it, you'll understand what I mean. So as you turn left now, straight into that sun as it gets right next to the fence on driver's right.
Well, Kim Jones, I have no idea how you were going to ask any more of your crew this weekend. In the shadow of car 8, which is still in bits, you've now got car 14 to clean up.
Yeah, it's bloody ridiculous. You know, they have these stupid curbs at 90 degrees to the other one. You saw exactly what happened. Fav's made a small mistake, had to drive over the thing, just ripped the car apart. You know, we were in for a podium here, and someone needs to look at this very seriously, because the way they have the curbs, it's the same for everybody, I know, but last thing we need is spend more money and destroy our cars in that way.
Now, Fabian's still in the car. You might get him back out there?
Look, we're in with a shot for the championship. The way the race is developing now, it brings it wide open, so we'll try right until the end to get the car back out and rake in as many points as we can.
Another tough night for you boys. All the best, Kim.
Thanks very much.
And we thought it was going to be a match race, sorry mate, between Lowndes and Van Gisbergen. at least in the end, and that's what's happening because Loundes has now responded with the quickest lap again. 1:11.13.
Only a hundredth of a second apart on the last lap, those two, as we look at Loundes from above the northern end of the circuit. Here's some more stories at the end of this one. There's the margin, 3.9 seconds it is on the computer, and they'll be catching glimpses of each other. Loundes will see glimpses of the VIP Pet Foods entry. And certainly there's enough incentive here for Van Gisbergen.
13 to go, gap stable, about 4 seconds.
Interestingly, Winterbottom, who I thought would have a bit more pace at this stage, doesn't. He's drifting. He's 11.2 seconds off the lead now and losing margin. Car 7 in the wars, fast chicane. Bit of motocross action, all four wheels off the deck.
Exactly, and that's actually across. The reason the curb is there is to stop the guys from doing exactly that. So although Kim Jones' point about this curb, the 90-degree curb, the reason that it's there is if you don't put something there, you drive the whole car over. So we do need to find a better solution, but we've also got to make sure the drivers drive on the racetrack. 10.98 now, Van Gisbergen. Back to 3.8 seconds. This is an absolute sprint.
I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
Is this the weirdest race you've ever seen?
Can I vote?
You bet you can. Mate, you've got your iPhone here. Get the 7 Sport app and start voting. Go to v8supercars.com.au/vote. I mean, this one is dead set, had the lot.
This is a good performance here, boys. David Wall in car number 21. He's only 23rd in the championship after a tough year. We saw a great run for him in Austin. He qualified down in 19th. He's inside the top 10 there at the moment, in 7th position. He's had 1 year's experience here in V8 Supercars. His best was the 15th last year, and there's his Kiwi teammate Chris Pither, who's had great success in Utes. Got a lot of very high credentials in his CV from New Zealand racing. And this is a very, very good story for the boys in the Brad Jones Racing Garage, who haven't seen much sugar so far this weekend.
Guy, I've looked forward to having a chat to you for a while. Steve Webb, team owner and principal down here at Techno Racing. Now, your car is out there hunting down Craig Loundes. The big question, can he do the job?
Well, with only 12 laps to go, he just set the fastest lap of the race. He's got good rubber on the car. The boys have done a sensational job with the strategy, and Shane's done a great job in the car. So, yes, he can do it.
Steve, it's actually going well. I was saying to your son earlier that you guys you've been a little bit quiet for a while, but it seems to be coming back at the right time of year.
Well, we've made some changes towards the last few rounds, and I think the whole crew have really pulled together. And I've never seen we had a bit of a problem this morning with Shane in the shootout, and the work the boys had to do to get that car on the track today was a fair amount, but they were sensational. They pulled together, they worked together, and it is a true team.
All right, mate, I know this is a nervous last bit. I'll let you go and enjoy.
Thank you. Cheers.
And in the fastest lap time fight that they're having, Craig Loundes has just landed another punch. He's done the quickest now, 1:10.93. Nothing in it at the front.
So this is turning into a real fight for the run home, and Craig Loundes, the Gold Coast has been so unkind to him for so long. Hasn't won here since he won overall 2 of the 3 races back in 2005, his first year with Triple Eight. Since then, would you believe he's had 1 podium here? Quite amazing. On board, Chaz Mostert, Wilson security forward for Dick Johnson's team, 14th chasing James Moffat, but Loundes out front. That margin's steady. Van Gisbergen doesn't look like he's got enough at the moment. Winterbottom hasn't got enough to get to them. Delberto is only 1.4 seconds away from Frosty, and thus from his first podium. Ingle is coming on strong late in the day. The Enforcer can still race. He might be a bit ordinary in qualifying, but he hooks up. Spoke to Ryan Briscoe last night. He said they're pretty happy with the way that car was rolling, and it's come out in this race. They started 15th. They sit position 5. Dean Fiore is being shown as 6th spot. This is just a weird race in terms of who is where and how they got there, as Mostert continues to chase down James Moffat. We're on the run home, 10 to complete. And our computer lap scoring is sorting itself out. It's had a little bit of a drama at the moment. But let's lap this up as we follow the Nissan, the Norton Nissan. We're right on board with Chaz Mossad outside the top 10. He shared today with Dale Wood, who started the race in this car. Remember that they swapped numbers for Bathurst. They were in 17, the famous Dick Johnson Green's tough livery there. They've swapped back to the regular 12. They started position 23 for this race. Just up in front is David Reynolds in the Model O Ford. That time around, Lowndes took a bit more. A couple of tenths away from Van Gisbergen. Margin 4.6 seconds. It's a real arm wrestle. But Lowndes has got enough up his sleeve at the moment. If he can win this championship, this will be the pivotal day that gave him the momentum and pushed him onwards. But he's still got 9 to complete. He and Warren Luff started from pole. They run up front, and now he's making them chase.
Grabbing any vantage point they can to watch this one go down to the wire. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Is it the weirdest race you reckon you've ever seen? We've seen a lot over the time, and most of you agree. I just about put my finger through the iPhone in the ad break voting yes. This is the strangest race I've ever called. And it's all going on. So under 10 laps to go. Check out the sun.
It's really hard when you make the run into that final corner complex there. It's quite blinding. It's a hard enough corner in ideal conditions. So the great seesaw battle going on between Lowndes and Van Gisbergen. A couple of other notables. Ingle in 5th, Fiore 6th. Todd Kelly, despite the damage, 7th. It's really impressive.
Hey, Matty, you talk about the weirdness. What about Tony D'Alberto? He started from 4th on the grid. He's in 4th place at the moment, so he's right on the cusp of being on the podium, and he has watched all of that weirdness around him. Now, behind him is quite amazing. It's Russell Ingall. Oh, stay with me. Russell's found himself in 5th spot. Inside his garage, his old mate Ryan Briscoe, who's been driving with him, is just sitting back watching at the moment, enjoying it. Ryan's one of our great international drivers. But Ryan, you must be pretty happy with the way Russell's going. Gee, there's life in the fella, isn't there?
Yeah, it's great. We've had a really good car today. There's a lot of carnage out there, but we've managed to stay reasonably out of trouble and had some good pit stops, so it's looking good.
You look like you've had a great time driving back here this year.
I love it, you know, and especially here on the Gold Coast. I think the car setup has suited this track a lot better than we were at Bathurst, and we're really able to attack out there and drive it hard, and I've just had a great time here, so it's been good.
Fantastic. Look forward to tomorrow, Ryan. All the best.
Thank you. Cheers.
What do you got, Larko?
Well, I've actually got the championship leader here, and after I spoke to him in 25th position on the grid, I really didn't think I'd be talking to you again in your garage before the end of the race, mate, with not much going on. Not a good day, mate, and the championship's wide open.
Yeah, absolutely. It was wide open coming in. It's certainly more wide open now, but forget about me. My car's parked down turn 1 somewhere. Triple Eight's on fire, so I don't put the mic right in, but looking good.
And, mate, you know enough about the car at this end of the race. Will it have the performance to keep Van Gisbergen at bay?
It should. Craig didn't have huge pace early, and Shane did, so hopefully that reverts to tyre life for him. But as I say, I don't want to talk too soon. There's still, 6-7 laps to go, but all good so far.
Yeah, I've just actually heard a little whisper that actually provisionally Craig's just maybe jumped you in the championship points by about 9, so you don't want to be rooting for him too hard, pal.
Understandably, yeah. No, when we're sitting down, sitting down turn 1, of course that's going to happen, and car 5's going to step right up as well. So is car 6. So yeah, we're taking a big hit today, but we'll come out tomorrow and see what we can do.
The great thing about these formats, mate. So I love seeing you back tomorrow.
Cheers, mate. Thanks.
And the bad news for Jamie Whincup is that points gap will actually end up being more than that if Craig Lowndes can go on and stay where he is, because he will be given a DNF. He's currently listed as 26, so it's sort of automatically rolling, if you like. But at the end of it, Lowndes will be the new championship leader. He's a 3-time series winner, 1996, 98, And 99, after all those years, is 2013, the year that Craig Lowndes gets his 4th V8 Supercar title. If he does, this will be the day that he will look back on. Long way to go in between now and when we wrap it up on the streets of Sydney Olympic Park. But what a crucial day, starting from pole position. That was the clincher. Warren Luff did a good job. They had a punctured left rear tyre that could have cost them so badly. In the end, they managed to use their strategy perfectly to put them back out in front. And he's now got a 6.8 second lead over Shane van Gisbergen. Mark Winterbottom is 3rd. Tony D'Alberto is 4th, and that equals his career best race finish, which we saw at Winton earlier in the year.
And we heard a yelping tyre in the background there before. It was Mostert in the final corner complex with a lock-up. It's down the order in 16th at the moment. Here we go, on up the back straight. Engine, there's been an engine fail there for 360 James Moffat, I reckon, that all of a sudden puffing smoke from the exhaust. Either that or we've got a power steering issue. It looked like it was exhaust.
Yeah, that's Alex Somerset talking to James Moffat. So oil pressure problem, shut it down.
Sure, mate, are we done? Are we done? Do you want me to park it? What do you want me to do? Just park it, park it.
Well, see, this will be crucial. He's got to find a part on the circuit here where he can
Alex? What are we doing?
get it out of the way.
Park it, shut it down, please.
And he's done so.
It's Alex Somerset right there in the middle of the screen, and Shiguru, the engine specialist, alongside.
Are you kidding me? Bust your ass all day for that. Jesus, I'm getting out.
Doesn't that sum it up?
Yeah, well, that is, it's a very true assessment of the performance. He worked very, very hard. They did a really good job.
They started from 11th. I actually saw just out our commentary window Taz Douglas going for a walk, so he wouldn't have known that this was happening, and he's just turned around to head back down there. So he'd be getting the bad news that car is out.
This is on board with Mark Winterbottom with D'Alberto right behind. Yeah.
There's some weirdness happening in timing here at the moment because Russell Ingles just popped up in the lead, but I think what's happening is as cars are leaping over the curbing, the transponders are taking a beating as well. So Lowndes is being corrected back in the lead now, as we know it to be. But Russell is doing a mighty job in 5th. Ooh, that was close. Hold your breath, D'Alberto versus Winterbottom.
Have a look at the damage. Winterbottom has hit that fence very hard coming out of turn 2 on the turn 3 wall that we've seen so many cars. That damage on the front there is new.
And intensity off the track down here in the Brad Jones garage. We saw the other car, the damage going on there. Well, these poor buggers here, they are working extremely hard. They want to get this car out before the end of the race. Coulthard's car, they put a whole set of front suspension on it to try and get some points. This is a big ask.
That's the damage I was referring to there. And that may have a little bit to do with why Winterbottom's speed is not good enough. He's fastest lap of the race at 11.52 versus Lowndes and then Gisbergen with 10.9. So we've seen his car and we know how fast through the year they have been. The last minute speed here is not good enough. In fact, D'Alberto is putting a lot of pressure on. This is why. Right there. Oh. Great, well done. Forza 5. Replay of exactly that spot. Well done to capture that. Oh, that's might be broken steering out of that. He ran over that curb, had a big moment.
And he was going to headbutt that concrete wall very hard. He would have seen that coming. His eyes would have been wide open. And that just relieves some pressure off Mark Winterbottom. There's his Bathurst winning partner, Stephen Richards.
Winterbottom has been the most consistent scorer since Townsville. He's had a great run in the back end of this championship. Here's the replay of what happened to Tony. Look at that. He's whacked everything. Whacked the curb, whacked the wall, whacked the tyres.
He's never been on the podium in a V8 supercar race.
Look at Johnny Reid. Look at the guys laughing. Joe Sasso is the guy on the radio to Tony D'Alberto. He'll be trying to guide him through the last few laps of this race to make sure he actually does bring it home. It's much better to finish 4th and bring it home safely. This is Loundes.
And what a job he has done. His 220th championship start this weekend for Craig Loundes. And that puts him equal with you, Scafie, on the all-time list in 3rd. We know that he racked up his 500th career race at the Mountain 2 weeks ago, where he was on the podium. You have to go a fair way back to find his last victory here, which was back in 2005. He finished 2nd in the first race and then had 2 wins on the trot on a 3-race weekend. And that's what we love about Craig Loundes. He's always there when it matters, and he's always ready to show off and celebrate victory.
Awesome job, mate.
Loundes and Luff survived to win the first race of the Armour All Gold Coast 600, holding off Shane van Gisbergen, who just crosses the line 8 seconds back. Winterbottom in 3rd, and Tony D'Alberto holds on for 4th. And Russell Engel and Ryan Briscoe finishing in 5th spot after starting 15th. And that has changed the championship completely.
Dean Fiore, great job. The Dodo Insurance entry, position 6. I think he went to reserve fuel right at the end of the race, ended up a lap down. Then Todd Kelly getting into the top 10 on a day with all that damage on the car. That's an impressive performance. And Garth Tander, amazingly, given the problems they had, where he sat in the pit lane trying to restart that car, 8th. Will Davison 9th, despite the headbutt with his brother, and David Wall 10th. So some extraordinary tales attached to all that, and a big spread. Very often we're seeing races with plenty of people on the lead lap. Today, it's only been the top 5 that finished on the lead lap of this race.
Well, they were smiling and cheering when he landed pole position. And the fan bases everywhere for Craig Loundes. Red Bull Racing Australia, like everyone, have had a weird start to this weekend. So the championship leader,
out of fuel. Yep. Was he? Oh no, he's just giving his space.
Giving him room. Championship leader, Jamie Whincup, DNF. The man who came in here to this weekend 114 points behind, now leads the championship. Mark Winterbottom, who's scored more points than anyone over the last 5 events, finishes 3rd, and he's right in the championship picture. Fourth race win of 2013 for Craig Loundes. Warren Luff gets his 2nd career victory after winning at Sandown in 2012. So they're quite a formidable pair. Nolan Dane there to celebrate. Jeremy Moore as well.
It's great strength in the team when you have a problem with one car and you can pick up a win with the other.
Warren Luff, Craig Loundes, guys, congratulations. Loundes, it's been 8 years since you won here. It's nice to get that one done.
Oh, yeah, and 35 years for Holden Commodore. So, yeah, what a hell of a ride. It's, you know, look, he did a great job. We weren't intending to put Luffy in for so long, but he did a great job, obviously, with that tyre problem. But the boys, everyone in Red Bull, obviously did a great strategy.
You can tell, Luffy, that was a special win for you guys.
Look, it was. Obviously, the puncture early on in my stint, we sort of we had our backs against the wall, but full credit to, as Craig said, everyone at the team, and obviously this guy, he's a legend.
I got some more good news. You have the lead of the championship by 9 points. Well done.
Thank you very much. I just got to now try and make tomorrow just the same.
Good luck, mate. All the very best. Enjoy.
Thank you. Just hello to Levi and Chili, but yeah, what a job.
Great work, team. Great work. All right, let's get to Shane van Gisbergen and Joran Bleekemolen. Tremendous effort by the guys. Shane, congratulations. You worked hard out there towards the end, but you got the job done. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, first off, Jerome did a fantastic job, led the race for many laps, and then because of our fuel strategy and how much fuel we have to put in, I had to pass a lot of cars, but it was awesome out there. I thought we might have a chance at Craig, but he was so fast. But stoked for Jerome and myself and the team. It's awesome to be on the podium here. It's great.
Jerome, well done. Congratulations on a great first stint. You set it up.
Yeah, it wasn't easy, but yeah, he finished it unbelievable. He overtook so many cars. Strategy was perfect, so I can't believe it. It's so good to be part of this.
You like the Gold Coast?
Yeah, oh, it's great.
Good work. Congratulations, guys. Well done. And the Bathurst champions are on the podium a week later. Mark Winterbottom, Stephen Richards, guys. Well done. That was hard work, Frosty, but you held out. You held out Tony D'Alberto there towards the end as well.
Yeah, out of all the guys you'd want to see on the podium get his first one, it would be Tony because he's a good bloke. So tried hard, but on those old tyres, it was moving around, and man, these cars are strong because I hit that tyre bundle so hard and I thought I was out. So awesome that we finished. They built a great car, our team.
Yeah, we all shuddered with you for that one. Richo, you guys together, you're such a strong combination now. That's great to come off Bathurst and get this done.
Oh, for sure. You know, good points for the first one, another one tomorrow. So got to work on making the car a little bit better. It's still not quite there, but we're looking all right.
Hey, bring on tomorrow, boys. Let's enjoy the podium. Congratulations, Larko.
How cool is that, mate? You just got out of the car. Ryan Briscoe, Russell, in your fifth position. Well done. I mean, like winning, mate. You got to earn these ones. The kids are all going nuts. I reckon that was fantastic. You're a popular guy. You must be well pleased, mate. That's a tough gig, and you did well.
After we had to double stack in the pit stop, we thought we were toast. But, mate, we're out of this because we dropped from like 6 in the first stint right back. But, mate, we just sort of rolled the dice a bit and got...
Hang on, step aside. Come on. Let's have a look at those posters. Here's Russell's fan club, all 3 of his fans. Fantastic.
No, but look, Ryan did a great job, mate. And, you know, the thing is, brought it back straight. A lot didn't, you know, and... mate, I just pressed on, drove it like a rental car, and that was it. So it was all good.
Hey, Ryan, I want to quick... Mate, I'm a big rap for this guy. He jumps in cars all around the world and just does what professional race drivers do. Brings it back clean. You're fast enough. Good bloke to do business with, eh?
Oh, it's great. We've had so much fun, and it's great to finally get here to the Gold Coast, and the car is fast, you know. Yeah. It's really fast, and just a really good effort by Russell today, and we've got a few dents on the thing, so the boys have a bit of work tonight, but... can't wait for tomorrow for another one.
It was a really good effort by both of you, so well done, Ryan.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. What a job from 15th up to 5th. So let's run you through the results. That's the podium. They're getting set to go up there. Tony D'Alberto and Johnny Reid so close to also being up there as well. Garth Tander and Nick Percat, Will Davison and Steve Owen. And good job from David Wall and Chris Pithers. So genuine pacing car 21, and they made that stick in the race to finish inside the top 10. Boy, there's some hard luck stories left, right and centre. Rick Kelly and Carl Reindler, that could have been anything. They ended up in 14th position. And then we go down to the victims. And of course, the biggest one is Jamie Whincup, championship leader, no more. He hands that over to Craig Lowndes. So let's get set for the podium with Barrett's.
Armour All Gold Coast 600 race, 30 of our year. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please congratulate in first place for Red Bull Racing Australia, Craig Lowndes and Warren Luff. In second place, Techno Team VIP Pet Foods, Shane van Gisbergen and Jerome Bleekemolen. And in third place, Pepsi Max Crew FPR Ford, Mark Winterbottom and Stephen Richards. Representing our winning team, Red Bull Racing Australia, is Jeremy Moore. Making the presentation of the third place trophy is Councillor Paul Taylor from Broadbeach. Presenting the second place trophy is Minister John Paul Langbroek, representing the Queensland Government. And making the presentation to our winning team is Paul Lawson, the National Field Sales Manager, Australia and New Zealand, from our naming rights sponsor, Armour All. And presenting the first place trophy, Paul Blair, General Manager Australia, New Zealand and China, once again from our naming rights sponsor, Armour All. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2013 V8 Supercars Armour All Gold Coast 600 Race 30 winners.
Surfboards all round. Jeroen Bleekemolen, by the way, is the first Dutchman ever to be on a V8 Supercar podium, and I dare say the first Dutch racing car driver to take home a surfboard from a race weekend. There he is.
Very well. It was a really good drive.
He did a great job, and they all did at the back end of that race. Once it finally settled down, Loundes and Luff, the last men standing. They were second at Sandown, they were third at Bathurst. So the Pertec Enduro Cup is looking good for them.